Alright, then I suppose we are good to go. Everyone is here. Hopefully my internet holds up. It's been a fucking dick the last 2 days. I mean, it would only cut out for like a minute or two, but it's just annoying. But, at any rate, what did we do last time on Dragon Ball Z?
Killed a shitload of rats.
That we did.
Delved
into the sewer.
A shitload of rats.
Like 94 tails or something stupid like that. It's outrageous.
Yeah, 90 something. Some decent amount. So basically, you guys.
Really fucking big one.
Yeah. So basically, you guys made it to Krek, and upon arriving and going to the tavern, you met first Ivrak, a hobgoblin, seemingly from the Zult Empire. You can at least only assume. Kind of brought him on board. You guys both seem to be just looking for random work.
Yeah, a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Yeah, something of the sorts. And slept at the tavern that night. Next morning, met up with another individual, Darius, who seemed, well, he was just a guy. He was just there. And
Just a guy.
Just a guy.
Pretty much all I know about him, so yeah. That's
Yep. And yeah, you guys kind of after talking, actually, shit, only like two of you, I think, talking to the innkeeper, Senora Heroff, I believe it was. Basically, brought you on, tried to hire you to clear out some rats. Upon which you came down the stairs one at a time, offering the same goddamn suggestions. If I recall correctly.
It was great.
It was pretty great. Yep. Nevertheless, you guys took on his proposition, his little quest, and headed down into the sewers. This weird guy, Darius, tagging along as well. And yeah, you guys headed into the sewers, started to clear that out after finding a rat with the top of its head cut off and its brain sticking out with this strange film enveloping it. Went through the sewers and, for the most part, dispatched a fuck ton of rats, including one very large abomination of a rat who seemed to be walking upright, arm severed, replaced with a large cleaver of sorts, and there's a number of traps in there. I believe a gelatinous cube that Emin had a great deal of fun with. I know I did.
Much fun.
Mucho fun.
At least it wasn't a wizard cube.
That's true. That was actually kind of the theme of that sewer, though. It was lots and lots of big fights that we shouldn't have been alone for.
Yeah.
And we kept getting scryed upon, question mark.
Yeah, I definitely kept seeing something pop up on the various walls, ceilings, corridors.
Tom who saw the eyes in it?
Tom, yeah. You're not sure if that's trustworthy, though? I mean, Tom was confused for half... Well, he's a lying piece of shit. He was confused for half the session, like, just battering his head into walls because the rats told him to.
He's not one to resist mental things, really, Tom, is he?
You're one to speak, Emin.
Yeah, right.
That was just the one thing
I seem
that
to remember
potentially led
that
to
Tom
someone's
resisted.
Yeah.
A certain fucking bay creature.
And like you.
That was one save fail. It just happened to kill someone. That I failed it.
Yep.
That wasn't me.
Yep. At any rate, you, as far as you're aware, cleared out everything in the sewer. You couldn't seem to find any other trace of these rat creatures. Seem to have covered your grounds in the sewer itself, and made your way back up, rounding up your gold earnings to 50 gold, I believe, was it?
Yeah, it was
a-
once we negotiate the giant rat. But also we found some objects down there of some
Did
importance.
find-
We found a set of boots in the giant's cube.
number of
We found
objects.
a mace, a dagger, and we also found this a silver dagger, and we also found this shield made of solid gold. So we've hidden those from the barkeep, and we're going to go sell those.
Hidden them from Heroff.
Did I do some sort of appraisal of how much I think that gold shield would be worth? I think I'm probably the only person who's, or maybe Tom as well, that's got experience with like significant amounts of wealth.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if Tom has, but he's the only
Absolutely.
one I think maybe.
I don't think Tom knows.
I mean, he's a pirate.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course.
he's a good chap.
I mean,
I
is
don't know for certain.
He's got all the buried treasure.
Also, I want to state for the record that Reese is dead.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I did forgot to include that in the recap. Reese
He's
did
still
die.
dead.
He did die.
Yeah.
As is just to cover our grounds. Renus is also dead. Sebastian and now Air Death also dead. Just wanted for the second time on Air Death. I just wanted to throw that out there for everyone. Make sure we're all in the loop.
Every time I go into the game, I forget, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play Marine." Oh no, it's a bit. No, oh no.
Oh.
So in case you guys weren't aware, that's where we stand on the Phil death counter. So
Almost spot this time.
there comes a point in time where I start to question whether it's Phil.
I mean, I used to partially blame myself, but then you killed his character, so I don't anymore.
I figured your numbers were a little slacking.
So, and this is where we stand. You guys have come out of the sewers. I believe you guys made your way back upstairs. I think you guys went for a long rest. I could be wrong. No?
We,
No, not long. We only just woken up.
and then we just left.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you guys went in like first thing in the morning, and
I
it was
think
only
we'll-
really a couple hours.
Not
It's about noon, and you guys have just made your way back up into the main of the tavern, the kind of common room. There's only a few people scattered within, just drinking in the corner, and generally kind of moseying about. It's otherwise just as dead as it was when you woke up. Hraf has already gone back to work, kind of just cleaning glasses and getting prepared for the onslaught that is to come that night.
I mean, I'm personally going to be staying to get some food, so I'm going to be taking a short rest.
Yeah, we're in no rush. We can wait an hour before we head out to find the shops and stuff.
Yeah, I think taking a breather is fine. We just spent the whole morning killing hundreds of rats.
Okay, so
I
guys,
want to check the food.
Who has the shield?
That would be me. Remember, it's tucked under my cape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I had a look at it? I'd quite like to.
Cool. I kind of slide it down my arm.
There's no one else in here, right? Except for the barkeep.
there's a couple. There's like 4 or 5 other people just scattered about, but they're all minding their own business. They don't pay you any attention.
Let's go
Hey.
over into a corner over there. Just out the way. Like, is there any like booths in the place where it's a bit more private?
No, it's all kind of just one big room. The building itself isn't particularly large.
Just into the corner then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I also
no
not
room
sit
here
you
if
if
we
that's
wanted.
what you're worried about.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
We have
I
permanent
will
rooms
sit-
here if we wanted to make use of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
we'll just kind of crowd around the table.
Yeah, it's
Well, as you guys kind of make your way into the corner and crowd around the table, blocking the sight off from any onlookers, Hedroff makes his way over pretty quick with just a round of drinks for everyone. So on the house, eh? You have my gratitude. Truly.
Thank you very much.
No,
Do you have any meat also?
I can get that for you. Jerky fine.
Yes.
that'll do.
He comes to the zipper and is like, okay. No, I want it, but it's fine.
It's been much appreciated, sir.
Gives you like this very shallow bow, as much as he can. He's a rather hefty man. And by hefty, he's just fat. And scutters off, comes back a minute or two later with just a platter of fucking jerky that he sets in the center of the table, and then just a round for each of you. Very basic, watered down ale. It's disgusting, but it's free.
Excellent.
Does the job.
Tis grog. Morning grog.
After he walks off, I kind of lean into the table. You know, I believe I remember him mentioning the drinks we'd have to pay for us, but I'm not complaining.
I think this is a one-off situation.
Yes. I think it's just
Likely.
being nice.
So enjoy it while we have it. Cheers to good finds.
Already tearing into the jerky.
Cheers.
Yeah, just licking it all as it goes in.
Tom grabs a little before it's all gone. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a little and throw it to Milo.
Yeah, you guys have to like very carefully time your like retrieval. His claws are like coming down on it, and you just snatch your way in.
While they're digging in, I pass the shield over to Emin.
Which is not conspicuous at all. I mean, it's a large shield, and you kind of just pull it out from under your cape and overhead and slide it across the over the jerky.
is this really the place we ought to throw this out in the open?
I mean, I'm trying to be inconspicuous about it.
Give me a
But-
sleight of hand with disadvantage. It's a shield
Okay.
made of gold.
Yeah.
It's quite shiny.
My sheet literally doesn't have sleight of hand.
If you click generate skills, it will. If you go into edit mode.
It'll just be a dex.
What the fuck?
I mean, you try. You keep the cloak over it for part of its travel across the table, but it just slides off, and I mean, there's no hiding it.
Like during this time, like I'm in the middle of eating my jerky, and as he's doing this, I'm just sort of watching as it just like falls off. I'm like, go back to eating.
I'm only trying to prevent an outsider from saying that's all.
Yeah, I mean, the outsiders aren't paying attention whatsoever. They're amidst their own conversations, but nevertheless, there's not much hiding it.
Yeah.
So you pass it over to Emin.
Yeah, I just want to get a feel for how does it look really well made? Is it really good quality craftsmanship? How much gold is there in it? Is it worth a lot? Well, it's obviously worth a lot, but how much?
Give me a. Oh man, this isn't the game we have the appraise rolls in.
No.
Unfortunate.
Investigation?
Just give me a straight wisdom check.
Wisdom. Ooh.
Or intelligence, actually both. Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever you rolled there was.
It'd be a +3. It'd be an 11 if it was intelligence.
Okay, that's fine. So it's definitely solid gold. You can tell just by the weight of it and just knocking on it, even biting down into it. You can tell it's straight gold. Craftsmanship wise, I mean it's a little bit dinged up because. Well, it's fucking gold, and somebody was using it as a goddamn shield. But you can tell that it was probably more made or intended to be used as a display. It's rather well crafted. You're not entirely sure why anyone would be using this as a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What idiot used that as a shield?
Some rich kid who didn't know better, I imagine.
But yeah, you can definitely, even though it's a little dinged up, it's not severe. It doesn't look like it was used too terribly much, and the kind of the dents are small enough and so few that it could probably be repaired pretty easily.
Any sort of feel of value for it?
At 11, you're not entirely sure.
No.
Definitely worth a good amount, but not sure how much.
Well, this is not going to be the easiest thing to sell, assuming we want to sell it, which I assume we do.
Well, the question is, do we melt it down, or do we try and sell it as an object?
Well, there's probably more value in it as an object, but it'd be harder to find someone who deals in that sort of stuff, especially in poorer districts of town. Not many call for solid gold shields around here. But other than that, I think it's quite a good haul we got from down there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. This blade is silvered, and he kind of like brings out the dagger, the nice pommel, and like shows quite nice.
It's very
And
small.
those boots from inside that cube must have been something special to survive in there.
We're still seeing Molzar for that.
Yes, we'll head there after we finish eating, I imagine.
Tom, it's worth noting, as you pull out that weapon, and inspecting it, and oh, yes, silver, quite nice. There's this voice in the back of your head, this just this outward kind of groaning, this groaning and frustration that seems to very noticeably come from your short sword.
Yeah,
Cheat on me.
Tom immediately kind of like, oh well, that's good, well enough. Kind of shoves it back in his pack really quickly.
That's got you jittered there, Tom.
Oh, nothing. It's silver. I don't want to put it away before there were prying eyes around.
He says while Emin's holding a huge solid gold shield.
Yeah, but that's inconspicuous, alright? He's got a silver dagger. Come on.
Well, Tom didn't approve of the bringing out of a solid gold shield in the middle of the tavern.
Doesn't matter if you prove. Emin is definitely like Lion King Rafiki, just holding up the shield.
Just get a bit more light on it. Can I shine it around a bit?
Alright, well, I don't have anything else I'd like to do over lunch, so,
Nope.
if there's nothing else, then where are we going next? Because we have a couple of stops, because we're going to go say, Akala and, Molzar, wasn't it? Molzar was the wizard?
Molzar is the person that sells magic items or can deal with them potentially, and then we also wanted to see potentially like a blacksmith or a jeweler, whichever one would maybe purchase or appraise gold shield.
Cool.
Well, we got directions to Mozart from the barkeep I sent you around the last session. He said it was nearby.
Alright, well, that makes sense then.
So, you guys kind of lounge about for the better part of an hour, or maybe even 2 hours. Eating the food that he brought you, down the drinks he brought. You guys get a short rest for anything that might come back from that.
Yeah, after the short rest, what's going to be during the short rest, I'm going to be using my second wind feature, and like it'll be noticeable that during that hour, wounds are closing on Ibrook.
Okay.
How's everyone looking, by the way? Are people particularly banged up?
I look fine.
I wasn't touched.
Yeah, I think it was just you and Evrock that took substantial damage.
I'm on 57 out of 83.
I'm about half.
So I look better than you, but I definitely have some very visible wounds. Not looking great. Although all the smaller cuts and scratches are just gone.
So, where are you guys going?
Head into Molzar first, I guess.
Yes, Mr. Molzar.
Okay, so, I don't think he actually told you where Mulder was. He told you where Akala was, but as you're making your way out, you simply inquire to him as you're leaving. He kind of points you in the right direction, and this part of the town is small enough that you're able to pretty easily find it. As you walk your way along the edge of or through the streets of the city, it is pretty alive with people. Street vendors set up on the sides of these buildings, these overhanging kind of half tents and canopies, just stalls underneath them as people go to and from, fruit vendors and even just small oddity vendors and weapon dealers and whatnot, all just kind of about. You make your way over to where Hraf tells you to go, and most of the buildings are these same kind of square 1 or 2 story structures, very basic, but you come to the building that Hraf tells you to go to, and this building stands out quite a bit. It's still square, pretty basic, but the exterior of it is a bit run down on the front. You can see these stains of red, black, green. They look to have been kind of worn and faded out, but something clearly happened here previously, especially around the door. You can see that the door is completely discolored, unlike the rest of the town, which seems to be more or less pretty well kept up.
So when you say it's discolored, do you mean like it looks just worn from like time and it hasn't been repaired and like recovered, or do you mean like it looks burned, or what?
Give me a perception.
And while he's doing that, I'm just curious, are most of the buildings made of like wood or?
They're all like stucco buildings.
Okay.
Was that 15? So, I mean, as you get closer, you see it a bit more. It has this same sort of, there's look to be stains, these random like blotches all around the door, but you also notice that there is most definitely this, it's a wooden door, and you can see that it's most definitely burnt and tarnished. And while it's been put out and the door is obviously not burnt to the ground, there's definitely the remnants of fire there.
All right.
Let's head in.
So, you guys swing open the door, and no surprise, it creaks the entire time as you.
Painfully slowly.
Yeah, it is. Basically, I mean, the door is as yeah, it's as terrible as it looks, and you make your way into what is really just one room. There's a kind of table separating you from this rather gaunt-looking figure, currently huddled over a large stone slab of a table. You see him kind of just working with 2 vials as he carefully pours them into a large kind of like beaker. The rest of the room is made up of just various similar stone slabs along the floor and the sides of the wall, each one kind of displaying these random items. Compared to the outside, the inside is immaculate. cleaned up exceptionally well. Everything is very nicely on display, even though there's relatively few items. You see potions, a small stack of scrolls in one corner, other various kind of just items that look pretty mundane. They seem almost out of place in comparison to everything else. But as you guys make your way in, this gaunt figure who's clearly hunched over kind of looks up with just one crooked eye. Yes, come in. Come. Shut the door.
Top of the morning to you.
Mm-hmm.
Good day. You are Molzar, correct?
That I am, yes. Hold that thought. And he carefully kind of just tips over one of the beakers, and a single drop just goes in. You see this blue liquid meet with something that's purple and just start to bubble up. He quickly caps it and shakes it heavily. Yeah. Good. Puts it down. Takes off this pair of he actually didn't even notice at first he was wearing them, but he takes off 2 glass discs with a single bar between them, nothing over his ears, just the glass. Takes it off and puts it down, and his eyes become a little bit less crazed as he looks at you. Welcome! What can I do for you?
We understand you're a person to talk to when it comes to magical items.
They do call me the Enchanter, so yes, I would say that I am. Do you have some? Or are you looking for some?
Potentially. Do you offer services of identification of magical items?
I can do that, yes. For a price, of course.
What price would you be charging?
What are you looking for?
Just identification, to begin with.
Yes, but on what? It varies. Some things are harder to identify than others.
I see. I turn to whoever's got the items. I think probably the boots first. They're the most obviously magical ones.
I think they were the only magical ones, but yeah.
Well, we don't know about the others, not certain, right?
Alright. I reach into my bag, pull out these pair of shoes that are immaculate.
Bring it here. Bring it closer.
Push it across the table.
Takes it and kind of looks at just one of the shoes upside down. In great condition. I think I could figure this one out for you, and shall we say 3 gold?
Sounds fair.
Seems reasonable enough.
He just holds an expectant gaze towards you, Emin.
I'll fish out 3 gold, show him it, and then put it down on the counter right in front of me.
He grabs it and quickly flips through it, holds one of them up, making sure, then gives you a nod as he pockets it. Yes. A group of renters came in here and bought this from me just a few days prior.
Well, that does make things a lot easier for you, doesn't it?
Indeed. You'll find that an item of my own creation here, and well, put them on, please.
Look at him with a raised eyebrow. Could you not just tell us what they are, perhaps?
No, that takes all the fun out of it. Do, please. Put them on, or any of you, it does not matter. And kind of looks across the group. It's really the first time he's looked at anyone aside from Emin. And the eyes land on Asher and then on Tom. And you could do it. You. It doesn't matter. Go, yes.
Anyone care to do the honors?
I don't mind putting them on, and I'll pick up the boots and start putting the boots on.
You untether your own and slip those off and start putting on these, and they're decently high-resting boots. As you slip on the second one and kind of stand, stepping around, there's a bit of spring to your movement. You feel your your steps a little quickened. You feel almost more balanced as you move. Nice,
Yeah, hard to explain exactly what the feeling is, but they're not just your average boots.
No, not at all. Not at all. Quite good, quite good.
Yeah, these are good.
Yes, well,
I like
how did
these.
you come about them? As I say, I sold these just a few days prior.
I'm gonna look across at Emin. Would you like to tell the story, Emin?
Hmm.
You were
Yes.
hunting rats.
Yes, we were. We were hunting rats, and apparently the people who you sold these to also were hunting rats, but were less successful. than
Oh.
ours.
I thought you were referring to that group of individuals as the rats. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. They were... Yes. Met their untimely demise, I guess. Good.
Did you sell any other items to them?
Just a scroll or two, I believe that was it, yes. I think they bought a few of my concoctions as well, but... No, that was it.
Yes. I see. What... Asher, do you know... how have those boots changed you? Do you feel any different? Any better in any way?
It's almost as if I feel lighter, is the best way that I can describe it.
What are they designed to do, these boots, Melzar?
Sorry, say that again.
What are they designed to do? What's their purpose?
Well, simply... How shall I put it? I suppose they could make you faster if you're one of a slow inclination, light on the feet, yes? They're essentially boots of striding and springing.
Does it increase to walking speed?
Well,
Yeah, I
you
can
have
show.
lower than 30.
Yeah, if you have lower
Gives
than
you
30. Yoink. Three times jump distance.
Three. Oh man, just give it to me. Actually, that'd be mental. I would be able to jump further than I can move.
Seems legit.
Yeah, considerably further.
I'm pretty sure we all have like a walking speed of 30, right?
Yeah, none of us
None
are
of us
small.
It might be best on Tom, who could then, jump to better locations to pick off people. I don't know.
Is Tom's strength crap like mine, so he can't jump far? Well, you still here? He seems to have vanished.
He's fell into the depths.
Everyone died. Oh, me. Rats.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, the thing is that... So yeah, I think Emin might actually be better for these because obviously he is a ranged character. I mean, he needs to reposition a lot more than Tom does, who is often up in front of things.
Average.
Okay, mine's... Is it Asher who's also bad at strength? 'Cause I remember two of us
Yeah.
couldn't jump across. Yeah.
It's probably more useful to you than to me, to be honest.
I don't know. We're pretty similar, to be honest. We both range. We both want to be staying away from things. Both crap at jumping at the moment. Which,
Yeah, I think it's
whatever,
just...
you keep them on for now. We can always change things later.
I'm gonna pull out 3 gold and hand it over to Emin.
Ah, thank you. So, Molzar, we have a little bit of gold at the moment. Do you have anything that could potentially be of interest to us?
What are you looking for? I have a few things in my possession. As I say, I've kind of scurries around the table, and he's got a... I mean, this Molzar doesn't look particularly old, but he's definitely got this slight hunch to his back, and as he walks, there's a kind of a wobble to it. He kind of grabs a staff that's just leaned up against the stone slab, and he uses that to kind of push himself off. Very strange, because I mean he's rather thin, and he looks fairly young. But he makes his way around over to one of the shelves. I got scrolls, as I said, potions, elixirs, kind of leans in, poisons too. And over here I've got just a few of my oddities, things I've been working on in my spare time. Holds up a gem to the light. It's this reddish orange gem, but there seems to be this almost flicker of fire on the inside. You don't want that. What else? What is it you seek?
Do you have anything, weaponry or armor? Anything of that sort?
Weaponry, armor. He kind of just stands there, and you look around, and there's not immediately anything that you see that stands out to you. No other pieces of obvious, no shields, armor plates, no weapons. I don't normally have such things here.
Things that would be useful for people in a dangerous line of work.
I'm pretty sure we're mostly interested in the items you've been working, opposed to the potions rules.
Just before we do anything, does he have like a back room that's obvious? Like, is the store everything that we can see, or is there?
There's no obvious back room. It is a very simple establishment. You can see what it looks to be like, aside from the stone slab, tucked away in the corner behind it, is some sort of like enchanting table, another alchemy station, and it seems to be his workstation, display room, everything.
And any sign of like a trapdoor?
Give me your perception.
So many of these places seem to have one.
You definitely see what you assume to be like a circular grate in the corner. There's a crate currently on top of that.
So, these items you've been working on.
Yes, I spend most of my time in the alchemy. Oh, shut up. Leave me alone. Mostly working with potions, elixirs, vials, that sort of. Yes. And he skirts over to the other side of the room, back toward there's just kind of an assortment and array of them on one of these stone slabs that's up on the wall. Pulls out one. Yes. Look, and hands it over.
In that moment where he went over to the table, like away from us, I want to just lean into Evan and say, he has another room, maybe down there. And just point down to the crate, and then just go back as I was never doing anything.
We're just on the ground floor here, right? So assuming that'd be a cellar if there's a trapdoor going down? Or down to the sewers, in fact.
I mean, it's covered by a crate. You're not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any potions that can restore one's strength?
Yes, I have a few of those. Yes. Puts that one back down, a little disgruntled that you didn't show interest in it. But he grabs two others out. This sort of off-white colored liquid. Yes? This is what we're looking for. Elixirs, health, potions, healing, yes?
That's one.
How
much would you go for one like this?
Oh, for these, 50 gold each.
Is that quite a regular price for a healing potion? Does that seem more or less than usual?
I mean, how would we know? Magic's illegal in most of the world.
Yeah. I don't know if that extends all the way to potions as well. I don't know.
No, they kind of allow, potions I think would still be available in Ethos. But, that seems a fairly, perhaps a little bit on the higher side based on what you've seen in, like, oh geez, Kruxenberg and other various ports. But you're also not entirely sure that the quality of things in Kruxenberg is as high as something like this. So it's sort of hard to tell.
Well, I don't have the gold to buy anything like that, so.
Right, it's a bit above our price line, but can't say I'm not interested. We may be back in the future.
Emin, did you get your quiver looked at?
Yes, there's a quiver as well, wasn't there? It was rather fancy. And I'll, assuming I have that, I'll show it to him. Could you tell if this is a magical item perhaps, or is it just finely made?
As you pull it out, his eyes kind of light up, and he scurries over to grab it from you. Oh. Apologies. Oh, where'd you get this one?
I assume this isn't your work then, unlike the last one.
Perhaps not. Where'd you get it, though?
Away from me. In a similar place.
You don't mean that other group had it? That would be... That's not possible. I would have noticed.
Well, we're not certain. We found it in the sewers. Not necessarily the same group of people.
What do you want done with it? Are you looking to sell it, perhaps?
Perhaps, if you tell us what it is first. If you told us what it is without a charge, then you'd have first rights on buying it if it's something we don't want.
Would I not have first rights anyways, given the prospect of my store? No, I don't know what this does exactly, but... I have my inclinations, or just 5 gold. I'll gladly decipher its inner workings and tell you all about it.
Well, we've already paid you for one identification that you didn't need to perform. I think we've already got one paid for.
Then the 2 gold difference, just for a bit of time to work with it, to look at it.
I'll slide over 2 gold.
He seems very insistent on getting his hands on this.
Well, I can't say no one the other way. Figure out what it is.
Yeah. Clayton sort of reading on him, is he like desperate to get his hands on this because he knows what it is, or he's wanting to screw us over somehow or anything like that?
Give me an insight. You're not sure at all.
Just a creepy guy.
Nevertheless, he takes the 2 gold. He doesn't even look at it this time. He just quickly kind of pockets it. He probably doesn't even pocket it. He kind of puts it onto the counter and then reaches his hands out for the quiver.
Yeah, I'll pass it to him.
And quickly turns around, takes it over to that table tucked away in the corner, that sort of enchanting table. He puts back on his little 2 glasses. And I'm going to need some time with this. Perhaps it's an hour or two. You should be so kind to come back.
I'll wait with you.
Yes, we're not exactly busy today. We're in no rush.
You guys waiting there?
I mean, I am. If the people want to go off and do other things, that's fine.
I mean, no
Yeah, I'll hang around as well.
Profess to a curiosity about what it's going to do, how it's going to figure it out.
I think Tom's run off to find a blacksmith by himself, so he's not here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a slow fucking hour. Feels like an eternity, and all you hear are this muffled under his breath, just like, oh, yes, it makes a lot more sense. That is, yes, oh, gorgeous, beautiful.
Is he casting Identify?
You see a combination of what seems to be spells. He has these sort of a trio of stones that he kind of puts into use as well that seem to glow as he uses them interchangeably above the item. His hands, there's clearly a spell coming from. At one point goes back and grabs a number of vials which he kind of mixes together and then puts a single drop of that seems to just cast this glow about the item for a few seconds. Just a large array of things. It's rather strange.
He's taking like way too fucking long with that.
But after about an hour of this, he finally takes off the glasses and puts them down, swings back around. Oh, this is good, and this is amazing. You've heard of Ezriana?
Have I?
Have we?
Everyone give me a history check.
I'm not
With
taking
disadvantage. Well, not that any of you needed disadvantage.
That's my point.
Yeah, Ivrock would have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not taking one.
Azure, Oh, and Tom's not there.
Shite.
Yeah, so the name just falls on deaf ears. None of you have ever heard the name. No matter. Puts it down on the stone slab table and slides it across very carefully. Yes, it seems flips it around so that you can see the opening. There, you notice there are kind of 3 compartments. It, shall we say it, quite adept at holding things. Far more than your normal quiver. Yes. The work of Ezriana is... Oh, it is the very best, the finest of its kind.
Is she an enchanter?
Oh, the very best, very best. You'll find no better, not anywhere outside the world, but who would, of course. Nuakara is the, well... Yes. Sorry, I digress.
Interesting.
So it can hold more arrows than a regular quiver? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, don't be so silly. Arrows are the least it can hold. Arrows, bolts, Kinda looks about you. Do any of you have javelins or spears or anything on your backs?
I have a spear.
I'm gonna points to that. Yes. Your longer, more throwing weapons, perhaps even. I'm gonna points to Asher's bow. Perhaps even your weapons themselves.
I see. Quite a impressive item.
Interesting. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, how much would an item like this sell for if you were selling it in your shop of this quality?
Oh, a work of Ezriana herself. Oh, it would fetch a fair penny, nothing that anyone would ever buy in this shop. Nothing I would willingly sell, anyways.
Hundreds of gold? Thousands of gold?
I'm not sure I'd be willing to sell it, so much to learn from it. Of course, it's not mine to sell. Unless you want to sell it to me. Would you?
Depends on what number you come up with.
Oh. He holds up a finger. A minute. And, kind of just darts his way around the stone slab. You see him kneel down. It's actually moving quite quick, all things considered. And, you can hear this little jingling of coin as he's really looking through, whatever it is that he has on him. Takes a few moments, and eventually he comes back up, and there's this almost kind of look of disdain. I could only ever offer 500 myself, but I would in a heartbeat if you'd part with it.
I see. It does seem rather low for such a rare piece of.
That seems like a fair price, but I think we should hold on to it.
Perhaps if I threw in those potions you were looking at.
How many potions do you have?
Oh, the two that I showed you. I could even perhaps concoct a third.
Well, we're in no rush. We're not leaving any time right now. Perhaps if we give you a few days or so, you'll be able to come up with some more coin or some more items to trade for it.
Oh, yes. Yes, just do return, please.
Well, we're not planning on heading anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
And he kind of begrudgingly picks up the quiver and hands it over to you.
Ty, can I see whether it seems to be of like elven design?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely not. This, there's perhaps some kind of aspects of it that jump out as elven, but overall it is definitely not. This has actually a very strange sort of foreign vibe to it. I don't think any of you have been to New Akara, so this is fairly out of the ordinary for something you've seen.
Is that where Reese was from?
Yeah, but he's dead, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I have traveled there, but I'm not there.
If you even remember it, right?
I believe that this enchantress would be from the new Ikara anyway, so this is not where Reese is from.
Well, I believe our business is done here then, unless anyone has anything else.
Nope.
Well then, let's move on. We will return in a few days. Mozart?
Yes. That would be splendid.
Right, jolly good.
So, you had your guys' way out. Meanwhile, Tom, you were headed off to find a... What were you looking for?
Armorer, blacksmith, combo.
Yeah. So, fairly easy to find. Even as you were walking to Molzar's shop, you could hear the clanging, the beating of metal in the distance, very obviously of a blacksmith hammering wares. Following that sound for no more than 10 minutes takes you to an area. It's another part of the trade sort of area here, and you can see it's an outside establishment. The furnace is billowing, and he's just hammering away on his anvil at some sword. Is this kind of stocky, bulked up human, not particularly muscular, just kind of large, bald, shaved, doesn't pay any attention to anything, and there's a few kind of teenaged kids standing behind him, 3 in total, all just like staring. One of them is taking notes on some sort of parchment. The other 2 just staring intently as he hammers away at the weapon.
Excuse me, good blacksmith.
Continues hammering, almost ignoring you for a moment. Doesn't look at you. Aye?
I need to acquire a special set of leather armor, the studded kind.
Stops. Looks at the sword for a second, and then and just dips it into the large bucket of water he has just beside the anvil. Billows up with steam, and he turns to you. Leather. Why not go for something hardier?
Because my constitution does not take something hardier.
Gives you a very audible scoff, and he rolls his eyes as he turns around. Looks at one of the boys. Go fetch some, yeah. The boy kind of quickly nods and scurries off. There's sort of awkward tension for a moment, and a minute later, boy comes back with a piece of leather armor, a number of studs in it. Well, that suffice?
It would indeed. Like it, good craftsmanship. How much for it?
Truth be told, I didn't make it. Picked it up off some passerby. I don't give 2 shits about this kind of weaponry and armor. Leather. Spits at the ground. And give it to you for 30. Take it off my hands.
That's actually a pretty good deal. It's not as much as I expected to spend. Alright. And I'll also take 8 daggers from you.
Daggers? Nah, there we are. Whistles at the boy, a different boy, who scurries off, and daggers I can get behind. Metal. Yes. Up close and personal. Even if it is in the dark.
I like to throw them myself, but...
Do you now?
Indeed.
Kind of sizes you up for a moment, and as the boy comes back with a handful of daggers, the blacksmith is staring intently at you. How about we make a little wager? I fancy throwing me some daggers myself.
I see.
And he kind of just nods over his shoulder, and you can see kind of against one of the wood beams on the outside of the building, where he has this kind of overhanging sort of just roof patio type thing where the anvil is. On the back post there's essentially a fucking target. Dagger mail?
Okay. Normally,
He's
Tom
gonna wear
would
like
be
hundreds of daggers over to make the armor.
Normally, Tom
Excellent.
would jump at something like this, but his sword is not happy about any other weapon than itself, and this would be potentially bad. Wisdom. All right. Okay. Tom says, "All right. What's the wager then?"
He kind of sits there for a second, thinking it, mulling it over, and then lets out a chuckle. Let's say, if you lose, if I win, 5 gold. If you win, give you 3 of these daggers for free.
5 gold, eh? All right. Deal. Go first.
Whistles at the boy who throws him a dagger, and he grabs it, twirls it around with surprising dexterity for a big kind of burly blacksmith. You don't imagine him to be very very dexterous, but kind of just twirls it between his fingers, tosses it in the air, gauging the weight. Takes a step back so that he's at the edge of the overhanging roof. Gives you a nod, and without even looking at the target, just chucks it. Ooh, where'd it go? It's not great, but hits the target just off the center in the second kind of ring there.
Tom feels a little bit better about that.
For having not looked at the target, it wasn't too terribly bad though.
He says,
Not my best.
"Not bad. Not bad. Didn't even look." And then Tom will be like, "Okay, sword, I know. Oh, that you don't like it. I'm gonna throw this dagger, so behave." So he gets out one of the daggers that he has. It's gonna instantly feel the disgust from the other sword.
It's not even mere disgust at this point. As you pull out the dagger and are getting prepared to throw it, that there's actually a brief moment where you don't think the sword is going to act up, and then as you get prepared, the voice just, "Why don't we kill him instead?"
Oh, great.
In fact, this is perhaps the first time the sword has ever spoken with any sort of clarity. It throws you off, and you are swinging with disadvantage.
Okay.
I like to think that Will has been. Sorry, Tom has been as long as Will has.
So close.
I'm just totally shocked by this.
Yeah, your hands are shaky. Is this, again, first time it's spoken with any sort of clarity, and you try to shrug it off, and you let the dagger fly, and it just, it stabs in pretty much on the exact same spot as his dagger on the outside. The two are side by side, pincushioned in. The blacksmith just, well, not my best, but certainly better.
Indeed.
5 gold, was it?
How about we make it double or nothing?
Double or nothing. Alright. Whistles to the boy, and they quickly pull the daggers out, toss him a new one, toss you yours back. You first this time.
Lovely. Tom's going to pull back.
You grip the dagger in your hand, and the voice again. Look at that throat. So vulnerable. It hits a bit closer this time. You were just on the outside of the innermost circle. Better. Certainly. Double or nothing then. Grabs the dagger, tosses it a few times. This time he's actually looking at the target as he throws and let's fly. Oh!
Hey.
And sucks dick. Not sure what happens, but he kind of just stumbles last second. He barely even hits the target. Lands just on the outermost ring, nearly just hitting the wall instead. Fuck.
I do believe you owe me 6 daggers, friend.
Waves at the... just gives an acknowledging hand to the boys who pull both daggers out, throwing yours on top of the pile. Brings over 7 altogether. Yours is there as well. Blacksmith just puts an elbow on the anvil and kind of face palms. Fair is fair. Fuck.
Alright, so 2 daggers and the armor, which is how much total?
30 for the armor, as I've said.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 gold per dagger. 34 in total.
Alright. And then he hands over, I'll give you 35. Make it even.
Raises an eyebrow at you.
Well thrown. Well
Not
thrown.
a fan of charity, but I might well need it. And he takes the gold from you. Much appreciated, and nicely done. Keen eye, well thrown. Holds out an arm for you.
Alright, yeah, I shake his...
Name's Rafine.
Rafine, alright.
I would like to do that again sometime if you're back. Huh?
Definitely. And if I need better weapons, I know who to go to.
Weapons I can do. Don't come back for leather. That's pussy shit.
Find something to do with this old leather armor anyway. Is there a tanner for somebody? Like, somebody who does weapons? I mean, like, I'm sorry, somebody who does, like, leather?
You might try the general store, hmm? Well, the Balthazar, he might be willing to take it off you.
So, alright. Thank you very much. And then I walk off.
As you walk off, there's this scoff under his breath, this fucking shit. He grabs the weapon back out of the water and kind of puts it back in the heated furnace. Which brings it back to the rest of you. Where are you guys headed?
To find someone who might be interested in a large amount of gold, I think.
We were going to look for either a armorsmith or a jewelry worker of sorts.
I think more
someone
likely a jeweler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jeweler's
I don't
probably
think
better.
a smithy would have use for that much gold. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if I can also find somebody that sells arrows, just to buy another 20.
Okay. You do a bit of asking around, and arrow-wise, most people point you to Rafine the blacksmith. A couple people mention that they might have stuff at the general store. As you guys go looking around, asking for a sort of jewelry shop or something of that nature, a jeweler, you pretty much unanimously hear that there's going to be nothing in this part of the city, and that everything is, in that regard, would be up in the higher class. The areas of the city that are, kind of, as you know, largely sort of sealed off to these rich, snobby nobles.
Can we ask someone how difficult it is to get into the high cost districts? if it's just like a matter of gold, or if you need to have connections or whatever.
Yeah, you do a bit of asking around, and you hear a variety of things. Some people tell you it's never gonna happen. Some people just looking at your appearance gonna scoff and laugh at you, and they don't even bother to give you a substantial reply.
I mean, I do have fine clothes, right?
You tell me. I don't know.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He's nobleborn. He's wearing his fancy, probably a ruffle, isn't he? Prick.
Yeah, I've got like a decent robe on over the top of my armor.
In that case, if eventually you find someone who's a bit more acknowledging of the fact, and well, you could mention that you could sort of bribe your way in, perhaps. Most notably, most commonly, you'd have to have some sort of connection, an audience of sorts with someone there. But it's quite possible to bribe your way in.
Get an
If
idea
you're
of how
trying
much.
to go into the fancy place, I probably will stay here.
Not right now. It's just be good to know how accessible it is to us.
So where are you guys going?
Probably back to the tavern after that, and decide what we want to do when we all meet up again.
Tom is going to go to Balthazar and try to sell his old leather armor.
Okay. And I assume Asher is also kind of headed there for arrows as well. So.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Okay. So, well, the rest of you, I'm assuming, are headed back towards the tavern. Asher, Tom, you guys meet kind of just outside Balthazar, kind of as you guys go walking opposite ends of the street towards each other.
Asher, you'll immediately notice that Tom is wearing nicer armor now. Definitely something new.
Nice garments, Tom.
I think
Yourself up
so.
in your prison?
Got a steal of a deal on it, too. Blacksmith hates leather. Who figures? Alright. What are you here for?
Just to top up on some arrows. Nothing
Alright.
too big.
Go inside.
So you head inside, and the place is kind of a mess. It's actually quite the opposite of Molzar's shop. The exterior here looks rather well made. The sign is completely intact, and everything's well kept up. But as you walk inside, the shelves in the room are just a littered mess of equipment, traveling gear. You see the odd weapon armor in there. All sorts of just random shit. It's not necessarily piled high, but it is they're just in disarray. The floor itself is clean. There's a large carpet across the floor, and as you look across the way, sitting just behind a very simple table, almost more of a desk, you see it looks to be a halfling who's kind of just nodding off. He's got his head in his hand, and he's just... And he doesn't notice you guys as you walk in.
Tom slams the door.
Oh! What in the hell?
Good afternoon.
The customers! Oh! Wipes his groggy eyes and sort of tidies himself up, which does absolutely nothing given the environment around him. Dusts off dust and stands up to his full height, and I mean the table is very low, so he's standing over it. What can I do you for? Name's Balthazar. Welcome to my establishment.
Oh, you have quite
The collection? Yes,
a
yes.
place here.
Thank you.
Quite a place. Yes, I actually have an old set of leather armor that you might be interested in. Didn't get too dinged up at all. But as you can tell, I have found some better armor, and I was wondering how much you would want for it.
All right. And he comes. You notice he kind of immediately loses about a foot of height as he seemingly jumps off a small stool and comes scurrying around the table. You can see now that you see him no longer behind it that he's actually decently well dressed. Kind of surprising. Besides the dust that's in the soot that's lingering about him, his vestments are pretty nice. He's got a tuft of a beard and his hair is short, but he seems altogether fairly composed in stark contrast to this disarray of goods.
What is he?
He's a halfling.
Oh. I just kind of whisper over to Asher. Watch him. Make sure he doesn't cheat you.
Noted.
He comes over and sort of just snatches the leather from your grip and holds it up to the light. And there's a number of holes in the ceiling, just letting light pour through. Ooh. Seen some wear. It's got some dings. You use it much?
No, actually, it's only been hit. It's only been hit a few times. I'm quite careful with my armor.
Careful is good. Careful is good. What you looking for?
Well, typically, I would like just maybe half the price of its value.
He hands it back to you. 2 gold. Well, surely I'm not going to get more than 4 for it. Maybe 5 if I push it, but I'm going to have to clean it up. I might even have to get it repaired. And then I'm going to have to put it up on a nice display, which I'll have to buy. Because I don't have
that's
one.
because you display so many things well in the shop. Let's not play around, okay? I know how much this armor was when I bought it, and I haven't been wearing it for very long. And so, I want at least 10 gold for it. At least.
Give me a persuasion.
Okay. It's alright.
It gives you one squinted eye. No! That won't do. Maybe... Let me see it again. And he just snatches it from you once more. Turns it over. This time he undoes the buckles and pulls it out and looks at it.
I remind you that that's not yours yet.
And just shushes you. You've convinced me. 5 gold.
I won't do it for less than 8. And I'm being very generous.
7.
8. And I won't say that the halfling is cheating people all along the merchant's row over here. We all know how popular you halflings are around here.
At that, he hands it back to you and folds his arms. 7 and 5 silver.
Fine.
Snatches it back from you. Quickly runs by on the counter and starts just ching, ching, ching. He actually doesn't pay you in gold. He pays entirely in silver because he's an asshole. And you watch as he counts out 75 fucking silver. And he does it slowly too. Just chink, chink, chink. And kind of puts them in piles of 10.
I look over at Asher. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Better
That
luck
was
with
our...
you.
Balthazar, how much are you going to charge me for 20 arrows?
20 arrows? Ooh. Do I have any of those? Hold that thought. And he kind of finishes counting out the coins and just slides those across the table towards you. Doesn't even put out a hand to shake on it. He just kind of gives you a wink and then hops off his stool and goes like scurrying through a couple of the shelves. Oh, found a quiver. Tosses it behind him, just lands on the floor, kind of sliding to your feet, Asher. And oh, here's one. Arrow slams into the ground. He kind of just does this, pulling out straight arrows. Eventually there's a pile of around 24, 25 of them. Turns around. 2 gold for the lot.
Yeah, 2 gold for the lot. Let's do that. Go for it, Balthazar. And I'll hand him 2 gold.
Wait a minute. How many arrows?
Oh, well,
You say
take
25.
25, and he takes the 2 gold and pockets those. Pleasure? Pleasure?
Nice doing business with you.
Oh, and you
Take up
guys,
the 25
well,
arrows.
feel free to come back to Balthazar's. Should you need anything? I've got a wide assortment here.
Yeah, we'll bear that one in mind.
I think I'll pass
Nice.
next time, Halfling.
Oh, you didn't buy anything anyways.
Oh.
If you want to sell anything, I'll buy it at a good price.
Uh-huh.
No,
Why didn't you tell me to kill that one? God whispers to the sword as he walks out.
I like him.
Of course you do.
So, I am assuming that,
Yeah, we'll go back to the
I'll make
tavern.
our way to the tavern. Presumably meet with the rest of the party.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming you guys just have your own table. Yet
Yeah,
again.
probably.
Ours now, nobody touches it.
So, I'm assuming it's the same table that Ivruk was at originally, just tucked away in the corner.
Yeah, I've marked it with my scent. It's fine.
Not gonna
I
ask.
pissed on the table.
I was gonna say I'm not. I have my assumptions, but I'm not gonna clarify.
No. But everyone notices mine.
Nah, nobody's questioning that. Not the townsfolk, anyways. So Asher and Tom, you guys make your way back into the Blood Sun, or the rest of your party is just hanging out in the corner, talking amongst themselves. At this point in the day, it's been a number of hours. It's kind of midday, going on later part of the evening or early evening, and the tavern's beginning to pick up a bit. There's about 8-10 patrons in here now, scattered amongst the area. Most of them at the bar.
So I'm thinking that we send Eminem.
To...
Oh. Welcome back.
Yes. Into what, exactly?
Oh, the high districts.
Yes, we couldn't find anywhere that would be appropriate to buy the shield down here in the slums.
That's going to be a difficult thing.
Well, I don't think it'd be too hard for me to get in by myself. I do have proof of who I am. That and a bit of gold would probably get me in.
Tom kind of rolls his eyes when he mentions the words "who I am" and is like, "Fair enough."
And I'm
But,
no good at dealing with the snobbish types anyway.
I doubt I'd be able to get an interview in with me.
I have no interest in going to that place.
Unless you'd like some backup.
Well, yes, I'm thinking more of if they'd let other people in with me. I don't know. Maybe they would.
Would they let you take a panther in with you?
I have no idea.
I'm going to be assuming no.
regardless, did you two get what you wanted to do, Tom, Asher?
Oh, yes. I made out quite well, actually. Except for the stupid halfling who cheated me on my leather armor.
A halfling. Interesting.
Yeah, if
Like
we're
unusual
passing, yeah, if we're passing through again in future, I may stop off at that same blacksmith and have a look at whether he's got any more discounted studded leather armor. But for now, I'm okay.
I doubt it. He didn't. He said he found this just randomly, and he doesn't have much care for leather. Kind of almost spit at it.
Well, maybe I'll double check with him in future if we do pass through again.
Couldn't hurt. He seems like a reasonable fellow, unlike Balthazar.
Yeah, he was an arse.
We did get those items identified, Tom, that we found down there.
Oh, really? What were they?
Some boots of light of feetness and jumping around, which Asher is now wearing, if you observe.
I'm gonna wave my boots at Tom.
Very nice. And
Swings his foot up and
Plonks it on the table.
Da-da!
and what else?
This quiver that can seem to carry many things up to and including javelins and longbows.
Interesting.
Worth quite a bit of gold. The proprietor of the shop we went to offered us 500 for it, which we didn't take, but he seemed very keen to buy it.
500 gold. Have I seen
Yes,
something
we
like
seem
this
to be-
before? This quiver?
Probably not. It is
Can
Give me a history check, actually.
yeah. What's that? That's from one of those.
You're on fire there, Tom.
That sucked.
You've
It was like a really nice quiver. You really turned down 500 gold?
Well, he seemed to be willing to pay more for it, so we gave him a few days to be able to scrounge together either some more gold or some magical items and trade as well. So yes.
He's willing to pay more than 500 gold. This is a special item.
Yes,
Yeah, you
quite.
do.
That's what I thought.
One thing to bear in mind as well, you know, if we do offer it to him for what could be a discounted price, we could end up creating an ally for ourselves in Kirek. It seemed like he was highly interested in the item, so
Also, not to put down Malzazar, or whatever his name is, we could also keep such an item just in case we get in trouble with the local sorcerer king. He might be quite interested in something like that.
yeah, it's definitely.
Why not try and sell it? It's in the fancy district.
Could also do that if there's someone who deals in magical items there as well.
I think there comes a line where novelty beats actual coin value.
It would be interesting at least to get an appraisal in the fancy district. Sure.
Yes,
Gold is not
yes,
subject to
for
those
sure.
people. They will pay what it's worth,
Yes.
right?
Indeed. Well, if Bemin's gonna go there, what are we going to do?
Well, it's that healer that the barkeep mentioned that we haven't been to see yet.
Gotta.
Yes, perhaps you could all go visit her while I head up to the fancy district.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
She was also having trouble with the rats.
Yeah, she may have a different version of events of what's happened. May have more information for us. Could lead to more jobs.
I feel like we killed all the rats, to be honest.
She's also a healer. It's always worth to know.
Fair enough, especially at the price of potions.
But also the temple, they had bars, and they had destroyed their ladder going into the sewer. Perhaps they knew about the rat problem and did nothing about it.
disturbing, but I'm not surprised.
They do
And,
that.
go on.
And Malthar, he had a crate guarding or hiding his entrance to a cellar or the sewers.
How
Are
was
you
this
thinking-
Malzar?
He was an interesting sort. Acted old beyond his years. Very cryptic and odd, I think is the best way to describe him. But then, magic users, what do you expect?
They are. Yeah.
I do not think he is well liked here.
Well, what makes you say that?
Somebody burned his door down.
Indeed. That is curious.
It had numerous marks. It had been on fire at least once.
Maybe there's anti-magic sentiment in the lower reaches of this town, perhaps?
I don't like him either, so
I wouldn't think so, considering it's ruled by a sorcerer king.
Well, that might be why, depending on how despotic he is.
That is true.
And maybe that could be something for you when you visit this new district, figuring out what the opinion of the people is towards the ruler and
Yes.
I wouldn't go too far with that.
No, maybe just
Yeah.
passing in conversation. But yes, best not to go. Excuse me, sir. What is your opinion of the local immortal ruler here?
yeah, I don't think
as
you'll
this
find.
little blue circle appears on the wall with an eye.
Can't remember where I wrote down the names. I gotta find it. That's where I wrote down.
Well, the problem is I wrote down the names, but I didn't write down which one was for which, and I'm pretty sure they weren't actually introduced with a city in mind. I'm not sure.
It was
So,
Orkron, I believe, correct? Orkron the Lurid.
that sounds about right.
Yes.
He had the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His was the least intimidating of all the names that we heard.
Just quite bright.
I'm not saying something. Well, I guess we should just go ahead and split up. We can get some good money for that shield and know how much that quiver is. We could be rolling some coin.
Good. Sure you don't want any backup trying to get into the higher district? Never been named myself, but...
I think he knows how to rub shoulders with those types.
So that's a no. Alright. I'll see you later.
Sorry, I just ran off to the loo. You're welcome to try and come with me if you wish, Darius, but I can't guarantee that you'll be able to get in. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to get in.
It's no problem. At least we can say we tried, right?
Right, yes. Well, yes, quite. Well, by the time I like the present, suppose we may as well set off.
Alright.
Darius, I'd like to speak with you a second privately.
Sure.
Tom pulls him aside. Are you a practitioner in divine magics?
Fine. Not a practitioner of any magic, really.
I didn't know what his class was. Never mind then.
A will is quite strong, shape reality a bit, but don't quite know to what purpose you're asking.
Don't bother. I was just curious.
Alright.
Have a little bauble or something that I. Anyway.
Well, if it comes up again, perhaps we can go see that corrupt church that didn't deal with the rats.
I actually would like to go and see that temple myself.
Alright. Where was the rest of them headed again? Oh, we're checking out the Higher District.
I may come with you to this temple. I don't think there's going to be any way that I can help Emin out or get inside with Emin. It's not somewhere that I'm particularly interested in going, so I may well tag along with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the other place we're going was to go see Akana, but I'm not going on my own, so I will accompany you to the temple.
Alright, so
To the temple it is.
5 of us.
Okay, so
I'll go with, since it's unlikely I'll get into the Higher District anyway, let Emin go there. The 2 of you can check out the temple, and we'll go see Kara.
Alright.
Divide up our time. Emin, here's the shield.
Oh, thank you. I'm. Yes, it's a bit heavy. I'm going to leave my pack here. I'm particularly want to carry both of them around.
So Emin doesn't get mugged.
That's what you get.
I was saying.
He's walking through a slum district with a shield made of solid gold.
Could I borrow your cloak, perchance, Darius?
Alright, but I'm getting it back.
Yes, yes. I don't want it. I just want something to.
Oh, I know. Make sure nothing happens to it.
It's not really hiding anything, Emma. You just look like you have a hunchback or something.
I kind of take off my cloak, put it on Emin's shoulders. Wear it well.
Right. Well, see you in a few then.
Alright.
Best of luck to you.
Emma,
Yes.
do you want me to accompany you to the gate?
You can do. Yes.
I see no problem with us doing that. Let's just accompany him to the gates, and we'll part ways and head off to Carla.
It's just you are a very small person, and you are easily overwhelmed by even meager foes, so I think that it's probably best that we don't leave you alone with a very valuable shield.
I agree with that, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to the temple myself, so...
I agree a little bit more so because he's still a bit injured from this morning. So
That's also true. I thank you for your concern, all of you. Very touching.
And you're carrying a very expensive item, which will give me lots of...
There's that. yeah.
Quite.
let me see one of those wounds, Emin. And
I have multiple acid burns all over my face and body.
It's just fucking
Pretty
idiot.
much.
It's like Two-Face right now.
I kind of give your arm I put it in a tight grip and give it a squeeze, and use lay on hands a little bit to heal you for 10.
Okay, quite a bit better now. About 2/3.
Might help a little bit.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you very much.
And I'll
Maybe
I'll cast one Cure Wounds on Emin and then one on myself as well, actually.
Time to rescue the truck.
That one's for Emin.
Oh, it's nice having healers in the party.
Tell me about it.
Saved the big one for himself, didn't he? Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm out of the play on him for the day, so.
Alright,
Yeah,
so... Anything else you guys are doing?
Walking into the gate.
Right, so...
Heading to the temple.
A bit of jerking each other off with healing spells. You,
Yep.
that's essentially what that was, I think. I think it was just a bunch of dudes
Yeah.
sitting around a table, touching each other,
Yep.
and
Pretty
making
much.
making white things emerge and heal and this. I don't know. That's what I got out of that conversation. At any rate, the what is it? Darius and Ivrak are taking Emin to the gate. Asher and Tom headed to the temple. Okay, so since you're taking them to the gate, it takes a little while to get there. Actually, you take that back. It doesn't take too terribly long. You kind of just ask or inquire from the innkeeper, and you've probably already seen a couple, but he informs you that there are 4 main gates headed from this lower district into the higher area. There's a rather large wall that spans across, and this sort of noble district is actually quite literally raised up. There's a notable kind of shift in elevation. However, Tom and Asher, you are definitely going to reach that temple first. There's this sort of along the way, as the rest of them keep on going, you guys depart and head off to what is essentially the largest building in this lower district. It rises up noticeably high. It's not a colossal building, but it is quite tall. There are a few pillars on the outside, and you see a single statue outside the large double doors, sort of flanking, or kind of centered in the middle. It is of a human kind of grasping this sphere in between his hands, peering straight down into it. You make your way across. You can see there's a number of people coming to and from the temple. It's actually fairly active, even this late at night. Well, it's actually not that late. Early evening. So,
Right.
fairly active. At this point, there's already torches out and about, lighting the various pathways. And you make your way inside. Inside, there's probably around a dozen people just knelt down at various altars around the room. You see maybe 2 or 3 robed figures kind of just moseying about, intermingling. One of them is likewise sort of knelt down at an altar, and you can see a number of statues similar to the one you've seen outside, a figure that seems to be holding some sort of orb.
I will look to Ash and say, I have some business that I need to attend to. I will meet you back up here when I'm finished.
Sounds good.
And I will go to try to find Priest.
Okay. So you easily pick out one of these robed figures in the crowd, the gathered peoples, and make your way over to him. It turns around a few moments before you get there and gives you this very shallow bow, just barely dipping his shoulders towards you.
I return it and say, excuse me, I need a practitioner of divine magic.
You've come to the right place. What are your needs?
This is going to sound a bit strange, but my sword talks to me.
Cocks his head a bit, and you can't make out too many features as he's got the hood of his cloak wrapped pretty tightly around his head. But there's a noticeable look of concern, a little confusion as you say that. Talks to you.
I found this sword not too long ago. We're not from here, obviously, but since I've picked it up, I haven't been able to use any other type of weapon without it giving me some grief. And it just recently started to say things. It actually whispered into my mind to kill a shopkeeper.
Priest is taken aback and quite literally takes a step or two away from you.
Oh, no. It's not like that. I can even give you this. Try to give you the sword and demonstrate it.
No, 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 no. That won't be necessary. What are you seeking help in doing? Our Lord Savras would say that it is fate that you have found this sword.
What kind of fate is that? I'd like to get whatever it is in it out. Cleanse it. You know, whatever you holy people do with objects. It could be like demon possessed or something for all I know.
He sort of just purses his lips, especially as your voice kind of raises, and a few of the patrons turn to look at you, especially as you as you kind of call him out on being a priest and like what they do here. He noticeably kind of, you see his arms, which are currently kind of in his sleeves, go further in as he sort of retreats in on himself. Perhaps you would be best served with another.
Another what?
He sort of just gets almost shifty-eyed, and you see him make contact with another one of the priests, and then someone who can help you. And then he just turns around on the spot and walks away.
All right. I will go towards the priest he was looking at.
You approach this priest, and he watches you intently as you approach, and he sort of reciprocates this same shallow bow as the first one. Although he's cowled and everything, you can tell he's a bit older. There's a gray, short, stubby beard to this one.
Yes. Apparently was referred over here by. I didn't even get the guy's name. I have a weapon that has just started to speak to me.
Let us go somewhere more private.
He just kind of looks around and is like, very well.
He sort of just holds an arm out, directing you towards an open kind of archway, leads into another small chamber. If you would.
If I would.
He's clearly like directing you towards that chamber.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've fallen toward the chamber, yes, of course.
So he kind of falls in line behind you and sort of picks up pace towards in the lead. You enter the chamber, you see it's small. There's not much going on in here. There's really just a single table in the center with kind of 4 chairs around it. Please lay the sword down.
I'll try. I grab the sword, pull it out, and attempt to lay it on the table.
Give me a wisdom saving throw. Oh.
Wait, did he actually do well on one?
Unbelievable. This
Who
is
are you? What have you done with
yeah, what have you done with Tom?
Fantastic.
Not fantastic.
Tom like drops it and then backs up. He's like grabbing his hands, like, oh.
Yeah, as you pull it out, there's this notion, like, this yearning anger. No! And you manage to put it down, but, I mean, you're apprehensive. You desperately want to re-grab the weapon as it's sitting on the table. The priest very obviously notices this. Attached, are we?
Quite.
He takes a step forward and pulls down the hood. You can see this ragged hair on him that, without the hood, you notice cascades over his shoulders. Rolls up one sleeve, and his hand has this sort of white glow to it that he washes over the weapon. He kind of starts at the top, and as he reaches the pommel, you see him noticeably kind of just pull away. Oh. What in the... That is dark indeed. How long have you carried this weapon with you?
It's been about a month. Give or take.
Give me another wisdom save. Unfortunately, as the priest pulls away, even not holding the weapon, you can hear this echoing sentiment of its voice calling out to you, and you immediately just lunge towards it, grabbing it by the pommel and sort of stowing it away.
It's mine.
I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you here. I'm not sure that you want me to do anything.
Yes. And no. Damn. I sheathed it. Do you know who might be able to do something about it?
Your weapon is... It has life to it that I have not otherwise seen. A curse. Sentience.
Somebody called it the Sword of Coriel. Does that ring a bell? No.
The name I've not heard. I'm sorry. Perhaps you must first find this figure, then.
I have a feeling he's not alive, but...
Well...
Thank you anyway, a priest.
My apologies for the lack of help.
He nods, and Tom just kind of walks back out into the temple.
Doing anything, Asher?
Was this where we were told that Akala would be?
No, she has her own place. She has her own little, healing shop.
Okay, then in that case, no, I'm just gonna casually stroll around and have a look around, wait for Tom.
Okay. And eventually Tom comes back, and he looks a little flustered, and he's just clutching the sword in its pommel, or in its hilt, scabbard, whatever, all the things.
All the
He's
sword parts.
he's fondling all the parts of the sword.
Oh dear.
Everything okay, Tom?
Yes. It will be. It will be. Are you ready to go?
Yes, if you're sure that you're ready to go.
Sure. Let's go visit this Carla. And then Tom just kind of doesn't wait for a reply and just kind of starts walking out.
Yeah, and I'll follow on after.
Okay, which will bring us to the rest. You guys essentially make your way through the city up through this incline towards one of the main gateways. Outside, you can see the wall stretches across, about 20 feet high, stone. It's much more well kept than the rest of the building. That's made from this actually gray stone in comparison to the sort of placid desert yellow that all the buildings are constructed from. There are 2 guards that stand on either side of the gate. You can see a couple more up top with crossbows, and they're generally patrolling, but as you come near, you see 2 of them just stop, and they don't directly point their crossbows at you, but they kind of casually have them up top, sort of aimed down. Guard steps in front. Halt! What are you doing?
Good day, sir. Heading into the district, if that's entirely alright with you.
Your noble background, right?
I am.
Yeah. Yeah. He looks at you up and down, and then his gaze turns to the other. And what about them?
It's just Darius is with me, right?
I think
I'm
Greg's there
right
too.
there.
Yeah, we're both there.
Looking like a bodyguard.
I kind of like cough. Hired help.
Yes, well, my travelling companion here is going to accompany, if that's quite alright. I prefer to have someone with me most of the time.
Give me a
Solicity.
give me a persuasion with advantage, given your position of privilege.
Ugh.
It's not bad. These guards aren't. He takes a step forward and continues to eye mostly Ivrock. He doesn't seem to care about Darius too much.
Ivrock, I'll be fine here by now. Why don't you head back to your lodgings and...
The guard kind of cuts you off now. He must have fetched a pretty penny. How much he cost?
Oh, well... He's been in... Him and his descendants have been in the family for a while. We didn't pay for him.
Huh. He turns
Like
back.
a twitch on his eyebrow when he says this.
He turns back to the other guard and they share a gaze for a moment and look back. I wasn't aware that's how that works, so... And he kind of laxes a bit and leans in using his spear for leverage. So if they have offspring, they're just yours?
Oh, yes.
I guess that makes sense. I just didn't think about it. That makes the investment that much more worth it. But how much did you pay originally?
I don't know. Like I said, it's been in my family for generations. My great, etc., who originally acquired his antecedents. I imagine it must have been a fair amount, but...
Sounds like a really good investment.
Well, you have
It's
to
like
have
some-
money to acquire money.
Angry breathing, being so not particularly well restrained by Ivrock right now.
And what about...
Ivrock, you may leave us. Head back to your lodgings. I'll call for you later.
Do you trust him to go about all by himself?
Oh, yes.
You don't think
I-
he's just
I
gonna
turned-
kill anyone? He's
I
got to be
turned to my
dangerous.
backs to the guards. I turned my backs to the guards and looking at Ivrock and just make a pleading face at him. Apologetically looking.
You don't think to keep him on a leash or anything?
No, that's not necessary.
And what about this
Wanna
one?
walk me through
Is
that?
he one of yours too? And he turns
He's
to
my
Darius.
manservant. He's not a... Yes, he works for me.
That's quite sizable for a manservant. Never did understand your noble's taste, but fair enough.
No.
I won't take any more of your time. Apologies. Well, meets.
Thank you,
And
thank
he
you.
steps aside. The other guard whistles up, and the door slowly opens up.
I give like a longing, like a lasting gaze at this person who has been saying this stuff. I remember his face, and then I turn around and go away.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Racism and Orthros? What?
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 Unbelievable.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, I imagine like if he was looking at me when I was doing this, it was slightly uncomfortable. I look at him for like slightly too long, and then turn around.
Oh, he definitely was not
Staring
holding your
right
gaze
into the
because he was probably terrified of you.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah, once we're through the gates, I'll turn to Darius and say, apologies about that.
It's no problem. I'm not too used to that kind of thing, though. Doesn't sit right with me.
Had to think on my feet. I imagine I have some apologies to make to Ivrook once we get back.
We'll talk to the lad. Our intent was never to enter with you, really.
Ain't no lad.
that lad's gonna murder you.
It would be karmic.
It would.
Alright, so, shall I head to Carlos or follow you?
Oh, it's up to you. I imagine I'll be safe-ish in this region of the city. If you have
Imagine.
anything else you wish... Yes, well, I mean, no one's 100% safe anywhere, right? But if you have any
Right.
other business, feel free to head off or come with me, either or.
Alright. Everett did express some disinterest in having to go alone to Carlos.
Well, give it 5 minutes before you head back so that the guard doesn't think anything fishy's going on.
It's a good idea.
Okay, so
We'll hang around talking for a little bit before I head off and follow Everett.
alright. So you just shoot shit for a bit and then part your ways. Darius, you make your way back towards the others. Meanwhile, I mean, you kind of just find the nearest patrolling guard, get directions, and you are pointed towards. Where's my notes? You're pointed towards a shop that they tell you is owned by a woman named Mercutio.
Is this the jewelry shop?
It is, yeah. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they point you towards this shop, which is it's called the Star's Delight. It's close enough. It's not too far away at all, actually. They kind of just point you down. Just take the road there, turn left, you're on your right. Follow their
Okay, my good
directions,
man.
and as you're moving throughout this part of the city, you can see that the buildings are, in the exterior, kind of the same as the lower districts. They're all this same square, boxy shape, made from this yellow desert sand stucco. But they're just much larger here. Many of them have tapestries on the outside and like, things of that nature. Noble houses. You make your way around, following its directions. Takes you only a few minutes. You immediately come to a kind of shallow row of shops. You immediately spot the sign that has a crescent moon on it and a kind of twinkle at the top of the crescent. Says the Star's Delight underneath, and
Head in.
you sorry, as you're moving up, you can see the door immediately kind of just slams closed, and there's a female outside currently locking the door.
Does the shop look shut, or is she just standing around there?
No, as far as you can tell, it looks like she's leaving and locking the door to leave.
Excuse me, Mercutio, perchance?
She turns to look at you. Yes. Can I help you?
I have something that may be of interest to you, if you can spare a few moments of your time before you finish up for the day.
You see her hand reach to her side. You're not sure what she's grabbing, but the way it's positioned, you imagine she's holding on to a dagger or something, just at her waist. And I was just closing up shop for the night.
Yes, I gathered as much, but I seem to have come into the possession of something that you may be interested in. Something that's perhaps quite well crafted and quite valuable. I figured you may know more about it, you may be interested in it, or something of that kind.
Give me persuasion.
Allow me 10 minutes.
She hesitates for a moment, and she's still very clearly gripping onto that weapon. What is the item?
Take a step closer, so I'm maybe 2 paces away from her, and just say...
She takes a step back.
Oh, okay. I'll hold my hands out and... Sorry. I come across a shield, and I'll lower my voice a bit here. Made out of pure gold, of quite good craftsmanship.
Her eyes kind of light up, and she doesn't take her hand off the weapon. She kind of just... You can see her teeth clicking together, and she's sort of weighing the options. 2 minutes. She puts the key back in the door, unlocks it, and swings it open. Waits for you to enter.
Yeah, I'll follow her in.
Comes inside, and as she comes inside, she grabs like a stool or something that's sitting by the door and uses it to prop the door open.
Give her a strange look.
A shield, you say?
A shield, yes. And I'll take the cloak off and plonk it on a table or counter or whatever's around. With a thunk.
Okay. As you put the shield down, it's quite heavy. You see her eyes sort of light up, and oh, she kind of just skirts her way over. Her hand is no longer on the weapon. You see her sort of...
I shut the door while we got this on view.
She gives you a very odd look, and her hand creeps back to the weapon.
Well, if you're fine with that, then fine.
You just
Okay.
look creepy, and then that's what it is.
Yeah, she grips the weapon, just her eyes kind of break from the shield to look at you. It's fine like this, I think.
If you say so.
It's quite fine, as you say, and she picks it up and inspects it for a bit, and pure gold. You're looking to sell it?
Yes, most likely.
How much are you looking for?
Well, I'm no expert on these sorts of things, the value, but I would imagine in the region of 1,000 to a few thousand gold. Like based on the, it's hefty, right? It's solid gold and quite large, so.
Yeah.
Wait, how much does it weigh, roughly?
Where did my notes go? Let me check. Is it written down somewhere?
A kilo of gold is like $10,000 plus or something ridiculous.
Okay. The shield itself is around, guesstimating, you're not entirely sure, but somewhere around 30, 40 pounds.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I mean, it is quite hefty.
Thick.
Hmm.
So That sword was putting that on their arm and trying to use it as a combat weapon.
I mean, it might be great for bludgeoning people, but
Yeah, it is not. It's not a feasible piece of equipment at all. It is definitely meant as a display, and she kind of relates that to you. Looks like something that belongs in.
hanging on a wall.
Yes.
Yes.
What are these dents? Did you try to use it?
I did not. It was found, and perhaps someone had tried to use it like that.
Well, nevertheless, I am quite interested.
I'm glad to hear so.
Could do quite a bit with this. Would you take 1,000 gold?
Can I get a read on her if she's trying to
Yeah, take an insight.
give me a... Yeah. She's lowballing me.
She doesn't appear to be trying to swindle you.
I believe 1,000 gold seems reasonable. Yes?
Splendid. I'll be back.
You just work in jewelry, correct?
For the most part, yes.
For the most part?
Things of that nature. Ornaments, oddities, things like this. The finer metals, shall we say, and gems.
Yes, it's quite.
I'll be back. She retreats into another room, unlocking that door. And come back a moment later with a small pouch. And
You got them plants.
she's got them plats.
Yeah.
Platinums. Oh yeah.
Which I believe would be 100 platinum.
100 plants.
100 plats. Comes in and puts the pouch onto a scale. Weighs it against a couple of bars that are, you presume, of equal value. Adds a few coins and whatnot. I believe that should just about dink do it. Takes the pouch off and hands it to you. 100 platinum.
Excellent. Well, a pleasure doing business with you, Mercutio.
And you as well. If you find anything else, please. I'd love to see it.
Well, perhaps not of this caliber. This is not quite an everyday find, but yes, I will.
No, not at all. She kind of takes it and hefts it up. Thanks.
Bet you that was worth a lot more than that.
It kind of depends,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if it was like if you paid for the craftsmanship of it, then yeah. But
Too many
I think,
variables.
like,
It's dented.
yeah.
Is she gonna
exactly
smelt
right.
it down and rebrand or recreate another thing, sell it as
Because
is?
if she's buying it
Damn it.
as just the gold, right? Then
Yeah.
like, if it was like £30, it's like what, 1,500, like a bit more. So it's like it was pretty fair for second hand. I think she was actually pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
I think honestly, even just dealing with the amounts of like money that we have in the past, that it would still seem like an exorbitant amount that we would be paying.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Precisely, yeah. I mean, like in character, this is like, oof, yeah, great deal. I found this in a sewer.
Yeah.
It's like that. I think we watched it that day that we decided not to play. That might have been the other group. That dude smoking the joint in the shower was just like, yes, give me 1,000 gold. Bye. Dumb bitch. Alright, so you get that done, leave up, and make your way back towards the rest of the group, who have all...
I'm gonna look for another magic place first to try and get a second opinion on the quiver. If there's anywhere still open, though, it sounds like this.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you're done dealing with her and walk back out, you can tell the rest of the shops here are all closed up.
Fair enough. Yeah, head back down the keeping a tight grip on that pouch in my pocket as I walk down towards the tavern.
Okay. As you making way back to the tavern, everyone else is likely converged over at Akala's shop. Make your way inside. The building is very much the same as the rest of them here. Actually, very small though. It's really no bigger than kind of a shack. It is, of course, made out of this same stucco and whatnot, but it's very small, perfectly square. You head inside, and she's got just a very small kind of round table. A number of liquids and herbs set up there. You can see it is Huh?
We arrive at the same time.
Oh no.
Depends if you like race to catch me up, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
Ruck's
I'd be pretty quick. It's like 5 minutes, and I'd be like actually catch up with you, so I wouldn't lose you. I just meant like, does our group meet up with theirs at time of Carlos?
You probably catch up to Ivrak, but I think Tom and Emin definitely, or sorry, Tom and Asher are probably already kind of there.
Okay.
But you guys are only like trailing a minute behind them. So as you guys walk in, you can see this woman kind of sitting at a table, just working with herbs, kind of mashing them with a mortar and pestle, and you can see that there's just a whole array of like plant life there, which is kind of surprising, given that you're in the desert. And she looks up as you come in, and she's a kind of small, frail woman, very young actually. You can see she's got just these very basic, plain gray robes on, and as Tom and Asher, as you enter, hello, hi.
You must be Carla?
Akala.
Akala. Okay.
Yes, how can I help you?
Well, I think we just recently helped her off. You should have noticed that there are less rats coming out of your sewer.
Yes, he told me that that a group went in there and dealt with it. Was that you? Obviously it was you.
We did. We did.
You have my thanks.
Of course. We are also a group of people looking for steady work. As you are a healer, I imagine that you deal with herbs, maybe of the rare type.
She sets down the mortar and pestle that she was working with, just carefully laying it on the table. Absolutely.
Do you have one that you're particularly out of that might be in a dangerous place that might be something to take care of for you?
She gets kind of a smile on her face. The proposition alone is kind of exciting to her, you can easily tell. And she kind of heads, just puts a finger up and heads into the back. Not in the back, there's no back, it's a small building. She just kind of turns around and scuffles through this very, very small bookshelf with notes, parchment paper, books, things of that nature. As she's doing that, Darius and Ivrak, both of you walk in. And
is Emin safe?
He is. He got in just fine.
Good.
How did the temple go?
It was holy.
Be expected. Not corrupt, perhaps.
I didn't ask them about the ladder, though.
Oh, then what did you go for?
Oh, I had some, remember that bauble I told you about?
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody who specialized in divine magic, and unfortunately, none could tell me exactly what I wanted to know, so.
If you have some kind of assist, I will cut it off for you if you like.
No, it's nothing like that, actually.
A different kind of bubble.
Yes, it's more of a trinket.
Well, in my experience, most holy men have different opinions and different ways of doing things, we can keep our eyes and ears open for any other holy people we come across.
True. Fair enough. Anyway, just came here to see if Akala had any work for us.
So, that she kind of turns around and she didn't even notice it. The other two of you walked in. She notices. Oh, hello.
How are you
Are
doing?
you with them? I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, we're all one group here.
I see. So, you see she's grabbed a book. She's sort of flipping through it, and even from afar you can tell that it is it's basically a guide on plants and stuff. You can see sketch depictions of various herbs and plants and long descriptions of them, notes and whatnot. Oh, there's so many. Did you say you have some, or just be willing to look? Sorry, this is strange for me. No one's ever offered anything like this.
I mean, we are kind of trying to kill some time, not quite sure what we're going to be doing next, and so yes, we're naturally looking for things to do, so finding some of your rare herbal ingredients in some more dangerous places might actually be a welcome diversion from the bustling of the city.
Here. There's two that I've been looking for some time. I only get them occasionally. Nobody's really ever on the lookout. But if you could find them, that would be tremendous. And she kind of swings the book around, and she's got her finger marked on another page, but she pushes it towards you. This one here, it's called Garrig. It's supposed to have healing properties. Something I could make great use of, but I've never found it in any substantial amount. Garriig, for what it's worth.
Okay.
And then she kind
Do
of...
you know where it typically grows?
Here, in the desert. And usually, from what it says, and she kind of swings it back around to read it, generally only grows during the hotter summer seasons, and as I say, it's hard to find. I've only ever seen it.
Does it grow near water? Is it?
Do you mind if I see the picture?
Absolutely. She turns it back around and slides it back towards you.
I guess it's something that's found in caves or more near an oasis. Like, what are we talking?
What does it look like? Are we looking like a cactus-like plant, or is it something more leafy?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have either of us really seen it? Is what I was going for there.
Give me a nature check.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, I'd like to have a look as well.
I clearly haven't.
Yikes.
Me either.
Yeah, Asher, you're not familiar with any sort of desert terrain at all, so this is sort of lost on you. You've definitely never seen it anywhere else. Darius, you just never cared to pay attention to any of the plant life because it's fucking plants.
Yeah, it wasn't that important to me.
Brock, looking at the picture, you feel like you might have seen it before. You can't perfectly recall where, but it looks vaguely familiar from the time you spent wandering the desert. Well, it says here, and she flips it back around so that she can read it. It says that damp places.
Okay.
And the other, she flips her finger back to where it was kind of just tucked away in the pages. The other is, it's called Night Call. And she flips that around. It's not colored. It's just a sort of depiction, and it looks just like a basic kind of 5-petal flower. It's supposed to be a very bright, vibrant purple, from what it says, it should enhance senses. I could make a great deal of elixirs and things with it if I could get my hands on it, but I've never even seen this one.
And where do we find that one?
Spins it back around. It's also desert-based. It's hot summer areas, but... And she kind of reads through it. I don't see anything on where it's supposed to be found.
Well, it's bright purple.
Are there any libraries here in Akala?
Yes, but none that are easily accessible. Okron keeps the library on quite the lockup.
How kind of him. So how much would you be willing to pay for each of these? Just so we have an idea.
If you can find them whole and intact... Oh, 30 gold each, I'd say.
Per stock that we find.
Yes, as long as it's something I can use, of course.
Okay.
It's no good to me without its properties.
Intact.
Well, if you're in a certain condition, how will we transport them?
Good question. Well, they should remain for some days. It won't give out instantly. It just... I suppose it would have to be quick. Perhaps, she kind of scurries back around to her shelf there and goes looking through stuff. If you truly think that you could find these for me, I would be willing to part with a, some tools, things to properly gather them and keep them a bit longer.
That would be very appreciated.
Appreciatively did.
I almost said appreciative, but then I thought, oh no, it's appreciated. But then it's like, okay, yeah, that would be very appreciated.
If your tongue's tied, I have elixirs for that.
Oh no, it's been a long day.
I have elixirs for that too.
I would take your words for it. Well, if we have to get these back to you in a short time frame, we must only travel a couple of days. This makes it easy for us. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good question about time. Like, how long do each of these last once they have been harvested? How long do they need to get back?
She gathers up, kind of as you're talking, and she replies she's gathering up a bunch of stuff, essentially putting together alchemist supplies for you. With these, and she kind of goes over the various instruments and methods for properly harvesting them and all that stuff. It should last upwards of a week if done properly.
Okay. It's good to know.
Not so good with picking flowers. I'll leave that to you. But I'll keep an eye out.
So she finishes gathering all the necessary stuff. After explaining it to you, she just bundles it up in this kind of nice unfolding pouch. Everything is neatly arranged, and hands that over. So somebody gets alchemist supplies. Free 50 gold.
Asher.
Yeah, I'll look after these.
Or I'm sorry,
Very well.
I'm dumb. Herbalism kit. I don't know why I said alchemist supplies. Herbalism.
Still
kit.
Asher.
So you get a free herbalism kit, whoever's taking that, and Who is taking it?
Asher.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's like unanimous vote.
Fair enough.
Enough for anyone else to take it.
Alrighty. Oh, perfect. This is exciting. Thank you so much. I hope you can find it. And of course, if you find anything else, I'll gladly buy that as well.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for things.
Is there anything else I can get you while you're here?
Yes, actually. Do you have any supplies that are good for patching up patriots?
Yes, absolutely. I've plenty of things, bandages, salves, things of that nature.
Perhaps that I could purchase.
Of course, yes. If you'd like, I could part with a number of things to help aid in mending. 5 gold. I can put together a full kit for you.
Certainly. Sounds fair.
Okay. 5 gold
No.
gives you a healer's kit.
Okie doke.
Anything else I can do for you?
That'll be all for me.
No, you've been most helpful.
And so have you. Those rats were becoming a nuisance. I'm glad to see they're gone.
No skin off our bones.
I should hope not. Well, that would be more business for me, but certainly not.
Some
Very
of,
well.
some of the stores around here, they have put metal bars on their entrances into the sewer, just in case the rats come back.
Yes, and she kind of points to an area in the corner that it's actually kind of, it's got some curtains in the way of it, and she pulls it back, and you can see what is essentially this large circular metal shield and like some crates on top of it to weigh it down. Yes, the blacksmith helped me. He provided me with this. It's done well enough, but unfortunately not before the rats got in and spoiled much of my stock.
It's a shame, but hopefully won't happen again.
Hopefully not.
Alright, well, I must be going.
Right.
It's a pleasure meeting you, Carla.
And you as well. So, you guys make your way out and presume back to the tavern?
Back to
Yep.
the tavern.
Sure.
It is the hub of everything.
Oh, base, yo.
Inconceivable. I just saw that.
There's Tom's will save.
Oh, is that what that was? Oh yeah, duh. That's what we said. Okay, so you guys make your way back to the tavern. At this point, it's quite a bit later, and it is booming in there, same as it was the night prior. There's patrons all over the place, and as you walk in, about half of them turn to look at you, especially Vruk as you enter. It lulls in noise for a bit, but then slowly begins to pick back up. Barkeep kind of turns to you guys hovering around the entrance and pay them no mind. Yeah, come. As you make your way over, he kind of just shoves some patrons down out of the way, securing you guys enough seats. Sit. You look back and you can see your table has unfortunately been overtaken by a number of fucking riffraff.
Bah.
Pay no mind to them, they're just, they're not used to you, that's all. They'll get there.
Am I back at this point as well, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
you're probably already in there, actually.
Ah, Emin. So how did it go?
Quite
Yes.
well, quite well. I have a little coin pouch here. Take it out and jingle it a bit.
That's
Have a
it.
nice that is it. It's more than you'd think, perhaps, Tom. Are we sat at the bar?
Yeah, you're all set at the bar.
I'll give
And
it
there
to you.
are a fair number of eyes on you because of Vrok.
Yeah. I'll give it to you later. Just don't worry
Alright.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it back.
I'm
behind
talking about the
my hand.
Harley, I suppose.
Tom leans over and goes to the others and goes, I hope you got a decent amount for that shield. That pouch looks pitiful.
Oh, I did. I did.
He just basically traded away. Imagine if it was gold, right? He traded away like 30 pounds of gold for like 50 grams of gold.
Hey, it's a good deal, man.
I did to regret that one comment about Emin being the treasurer. Did you get an appraisal for the quiver? As a little bit better, or no?
I didn't, unfortunately. By the time I got there, all the shops were shutting up. We'll have to go back tomorrow.
It's fine. Found out you can get there just fine.
Yes, yes. Yes, Ifruk, I need to go speak to him about that. Yes.
Might be a good idea.
And you're all
Alright.
sitting at
Well,
the bar
let's-
together, by the way.
I left.
Everett,
Oh, you left.
Everett-
I missed that.
Everett-
I've written in the chat.
Upstairs.
Oh, it's in the chat. Got it.
Talk to the herbalist. She has some herbs she's particularly looking for out in the desert. Figure that might give us something to do instead of just sitting around here.
Distant clerk.
Yeah. Oh, so she'd want to pay us for some specific herbs?
Yes, 40 gold pieces, intact unit.
If we find a bunch, that could be quite profitable, I suppose.
That, and I figure going out in the desert, we might find some things that are even more profitable.
Perhaps.
It's always good to keep our eyes open.
Plus, it gets us out of this city. I'm starting to feel a little.
Oh, it's
I know
fine.
we've only been here a few days, but I'm still starting to feel a little antsy.
That does lead it into an interesting question. What are you lot up to in this town? Where are you headed after?
Well,
Currently, not a whole lot.
yeah. I mean, we just finished bringing, escorting a person here. That job for now seems to be finished.
Is it one of you were escorting?
No, an additional person.
Yes.
I see.
Who's around here somewhere, but not here.
Oh, so I haven't seen him. Alright.
No, don't believe so.
What's been the bribe, I do?
It's quite alright.
Pretty sure they keep to themselves. But yes, but now that that's finished, we kind of want to stay on this side of the world, at least for a while. There were some unfortunate incidences on the way here, to say the least.
Incident. How do you mean?
Pretty sure we're wanted in a few towns.
Some unfortunate things happened, and some people got the wrong ends of certain sticks, and we had to leave in a moderate haste fashion. Things of that nature.
Suppose I understand.
But what about you anyway, Darius?
Well,
Yeah, what's your story?
it's more of a forced leave, really, but I'm a bit of a wanted man in Ethos as well.
You're
What
forced
was
to
it?
leave.
Yeah, what was it that happened? What
It's really a combination of things. Spent most of my life just worked in line with the former king before Leon took over. When he was displaced, a lot of us forced to seek new work. Pain of expulsion. That and a lot of folks don't take too kindly to some of the ways I deal with certain situations. Called me a sorcerer. They're all up in it.
Yes, the new king of Ethos is quite a piece of work.
Yeah.
Those were rather turbulent times, yes.
They were. Been traveling the desert a while now. Trying to set up what I can over here.
I see. You're just working for money at the moment then? No grand goals of any sort?
At the moment, I've a particular set of skills, mostly combat related, at work, that don't lead me to many professions. So, odd jobs it is.
Killing rats and the like.
Protecting folks. You could call it one way or the other.
Well, this
Would seem both of
gathering
us
business.
are directionless though. Birds of a feather and all that.
This herb gathering business will occupy us for a while. It seems as good a job as any.
It's not bad pay. Not in it. Helps the common folk appreciate us just the littlest bit more, and that's always nice.
Yes, well, helping out to heal is always a good thing to do,
It's
regardless of if it's beneficial to us or not, though that definitely makes it better.
true.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, I think I have to go up and speak to Ivrok. I believe I owe him an apology.
Best of luck to you.
Quite. You might need it.
We'll be along, give you an hour or two. Head on up and we'll talk about everything that happened today. Perhaps how the High District look like, notable folks.
Yes.
Reconvene in a bit.
I'm actually going to go outside and take a stroll myself. I'll see you all in a bit.
Alright. Asher and the cat will have a drink with me.
Does Milo
Tom.
drink?
I might try and stealth and follow. I might try and stealth and follow Tom. With,
Alright, I'm enjoying the bar again. Right where I started.
Good luck.
yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to see if I can find him first before I follow him.
Give me a perception.
I trust him.
If anyone's got a chance, it's you.
Oh, we're so close.
If only you had advantage for some reason.
No, he's gone. I am gonna make my way up to my room for the night.
Alright, so remember we're reconvening in about an hour. Unless you wanna go ahead and crash, I'm gonna stop you.
And you know what? Let's have a couple of drinks, Darius. Why not?
Alright, the spirit. And we'll hang around and drink for a while they talk before heading up.
Okay.
So Tom, by the way, is making his way back to Balthazar's closed shop.
Oh god.
Okay.
Halfling in the face.
Just steal all his stock.
Yeah. It's a pretty short trek in that direction. You can see most of the shops here all closed up at this point. What are you doing at old Balthazar's generally good?
I'm just gonna kind of walk around the perimeter, make sure that he's gone home, make sure there's not people Just kind of lingering and staring, watching.
You know that a vast majority of these buildings are the bottom floor is generally the shop, and for many of these shopkeepers, they all live up on the second story. So take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
But as you kind of move around the perimeter, and there's no real windows or anything, but you're kind of just standing at the door, looking underneath and whatnot. It seems there's no real light coming from the actual shop itself. No movement inside.
And there's only one door?
There's only the one door.
Alright. Is it locked?
It is locked, yes.
Okay. Tom's gonna look around a minute. And he's gonna try to open the lock.
Roll me. Oh no.
Ping.
Yeah. You you
Lowest roll.
try to like. I mean, you try. You're not sure what it is. You're not sure if it's your skills are just rusty. It's been a long time since you've done this, or perhaps
He's stressed out over the sword.
perhaps this lock is as janky as the building itself. You're not sure, but no matter how hard you try, you cannot even get the first fucking tumbler to give way on this thing. You snap like one or two lock picks. You've got plenty, your pack of tools, but you're just tired of breaking them, and it seems fruitless. You're getting nowhere fast.
There are no windows.
There are no windows.
And there's only one door.
Only the one door. These shanty ass fucking buildings are not very well adorned, unfortunately.
Are there windows on the second floor?
There's a balcony on the second floor. Very shallow, but the stairs to get to the second floor are on the outside. There's no like actual connector to the front, the interior first and second floor.
Right. Does there appear to be any lights coming from the second floor?
Absolutely, yeah. You can see as you kind of just make your way up the stairs and move around to the door, you can see a very faint light. You assume it's just a candle burning.
Go peer in and see what the halfling is doing. Eating, is he sleeping? Is he...
Give me a perception as you're kind of peering in under the door. Okay, yeah, it's not bad at all. So, looking in under the door, you see no shifting in movement. There's no sign of him, like, walking around. You're going to put your ear to it, and there's nothing at first, and then there's this very sudden just... very sort of loud, erratic... You're not even sure if it's breathing or snoring or something. It's just an amalgamation of sounds erupting from this halfling's gullet. It's spooky, actually.
Alright. Is that door locked?
It is.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to open that.
This door is quite a bit more predictable, and as you slide your lockpicks in there, the tumblers quickly click into place with quick succession, and as you turn the knob, it appears to open.
Alright. So I try to slightly move the door to see if it creaks.
There's, as you open it, there's a very sudden slight... You stop for a second, wait to listen, and there's still this erratic snoring coming from the inside. You go again, and like just quick bursts. Every movement it seems to creak, but You eventually get it open enough where you can slip inside, and it seems he is still fast asleep.
Okay. Once inside, I'm gonna start looking for his coin stash.
Give me an investigation.
Alright. Why are you failing me today?
This is a +4 too. You go looking around, skulking around the bed, trying to be as quiet as possible, but I mean, there's nothing. There's only a nightstand or two, a single sort of like wardrobe, a bookshelf. That's really all the furnishings that are in here. You go looking around, and there's nothing. He himself is laying on probably the smallest bed you've ever seen. You're not sure where you could buy it. Well, I guess it would have been made for him. But yeah, I mean, you go looking around through everything, and there's no sign of his coin purse anywhere.
Is there any ink on it? Does he have a desk?
He does not have a desk, just his nightstand, but there is some ink and parchment there on one of them.
Alright. I will grab the ink. And I will take some parchment, and I will write, "Don't ever cheat me again." And signed T with a dot.
T with a dot.
Right next to him where he is sleeping. And I'm gonna walk out.
So you kind of write out the letter, sign it T with a dot, carefully place the quill back into the inkwell. Content, you make your way out of the room, and then as you reach the archway of the door, you suddenly stop, frozen over. Why stop there?
Oh, no.
Wisdom save! Wisdom save!
No. Oh god, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. Oh.
Look at him, so vulnerable. He wronged you.
Oh man. Oh man. This is
You know, you try so hard to make friends in town.
Oh my god.
Come on, Tom. Ring rate that fucker. Come on.
Tom looks at the sword, he looks at him, anger glowing in his eyes. He's like, "You're right."
Yes.
Come on, Tom. You're in the prancing pony. Channel it.
And then I'm just gonna creep up on him, and I'm just gonna slit his throat.
Okay, you draw the sword out of the scabbard. You make your way across, and the halfling is sort of on his side, just, and then he sort of just rolls over onto his back, exposing his throat entirely, his hands laid out flat, and he's just kind of, and you slowly hold the blade over his throat and just slide it across. I mean, it's an automatic crit, so you're gonna have to, I mean, it doesn't even matter. He's
That was
dead.
2 off max.
He is.
That's ridiculous.
Roll a crit damage just for shits and giggles, but he is fucking dead. As his eyes only open for a brief moment to see.
Another D6.
What is it?
Oh, you double the
No,
sneak
it's
attack.
sneak
as well.
attack as well, mate.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
with
yeah.
3d6.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
wow.
rogue crits
Okay.
are nasty.
Yeah.
Why is it only doing 2d6s?
It's not. It's doing 5 divided by 2,
Oh, okay.
and then
so
rounds up. So
3d6, okay. Oh man.
So you're at 28 right now. So the 3d6. Yikers. 38. As you draw the weapon across the halfling, eyes jolt open only for a second to see you hovering over him, the blood slicked across the blade. You finish drawing it, and there's this just... The eyes roll back, still kind of open and staring blankly at you.
Tom is just kind of frozen there, looking at what he's done, looking at the sword, looking around. He finds the halfling's gold wherever it's at and runs out.
Yeah. You go shuffling around under the pillow and between the two mattresses that are there. Find the pouch. Not one, but two pouches. And as you make your way out, all you can hear is the satiated weapon. As it is clearly appeased for the time being. And
I also grabbed the little note that I put down. I'm not leaving that now. Take that back with me.
Yeah.
Leave.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you make your way out. Good thing Asher didn't follow you. Good God. What the fuck just happened?
Tom. Yeah, Tom is just like,
God.
he's gonna go to the temple now. He's just gonna go to the temple.
Yep. You head there. All right. Takes us back to the tavern with
Gonna kill off that priest who you told the weapon. Totally kill your keepers? Is that kind of what it sounds, Tom? Is that what this is?
Tom goes around killing all the improper
This is
towns.
evidence now, right? You just told someone that a sword told you to kill a shopkeeper, and then you went and murdered a shopkeeper.
Oh no, that's right.
Well, now he's...
Well, it's been good. It's been good playing.
I mean...
Let me get my second character started.
The priest is in the know. He's... There's only one way to deal with someone who can out you. Alright, I believe we're back in the tavern.
Yeah.
With, I'm gonna assume Emin and Ivrak.
If it just up in his room, I assume.
Yeah, we all have separate rooms, right? So yeah, he'd be up in his room.
Just go up and give a knock to the door. Ivrock, you in there?
There's like a brief pause, and then like the sound of someone getting off the bed, and they come and open the door. Probably for the first time, I'm not wearing my armor. There's the tattoos that I have stretch all the way down to like my sternum. There's a lot of deep scars on my body. I don't say anything to you as I open the door to you.
Well, a couple of things for you. I have your share of the gold we got. I'll pull out 20 platinum pieces from that pouch and offer them to you.
I take them in my hand and just close it. I don't have my coin pouch on me, so.
And I wanted to apologise to you for what I had to say at the guard post to get us in. I had to think on my feet, and that seemed like the best way to get them to be satisfied. I understand that it was not in the best taste, and I apologise for what I said.
You will not do that again.
I will not. If it bothers you significantly, I will never say any such words again.
You will never ever claim to own me again.
Very well.
And with that, I'm going to close the door in his face and go back to sitting at the side of the room.
Well, I didn't get stabbed, so I'm going to count that one as a win. And go back to the bar.
Yeah, boy, you're not a halfling.
Shit, I'm still one piece.
I mean, it's not Ivrak you have to worry about anymore. He's not the murderer.
That is very true. As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, not that you know that.
Boy.
Not where I thought tonight was gonna go.
No.
So, anyone doing anything else?
Me and Asher are more or less waiting an hour, or I guess at this point at some point during that we see Emin return to us. right?
Oh, yeah, I was only there for literally like a couple of minutes.
Yeah. I'll still give it like till the full hour goes by, and kind of like waiting for Tom so that we're all together to go over the day. But if he doesn't return in that time, then we'll just head on up and talk about stuff.
Okay. Tom, what are you doing at the temple?
Tom is going to go back to the temple. He's gonna look inside. He's really kind of disturbed at this point. This was really a big deal. He's gonna try to find the same old priest.
It's not hard to do as you come inside, and not really to your surprise at all. There's no one in the temple. Everyone's retreated to the tavern so that they can, sin. And
rinse and repeat.
yeah, right. This late at night, there's just no one in there. Most of the priests are gone, and there's but one person inside this temple, and he is the older bearded gentleman who helped with the sword. The one who knows that you want to murder people. You know.
Sir, please, you must help me. You must help me.
You come kind of running up to him and panting and whatnot, and he just takes a step back up. Hold on, are you alright?
No, I am not alright.
Why do you have your hand on your sword?
Sword. It took control of my will. I
assume
killed before, but never like this.
I assume there's a bit of blood on your studded leather, on your hands, just from the spray of that throat being slit. And the priest notices at this point, and you can see him just swallow heavy. Who did you kill?
I didn't intend to kill him. I just intended to let him know that I could see him, the halfling, Balthazar.
Priest takes a couple of steps back now. His mouth kind of hangs open, and he begins to talk, but you don't hear anything he's saying. The only thing you hear is, now he knows what might happen if he tells. You must let me feast on him too.
No more.
Kill him.
No, you will have to kill me.
Give me a wisdom saving throw. So, the sword continues to talk. You feel it once again, kind of coming over you. It is terrible. You feel your hand drift again to the hilt of the weapon. Your footsteps, not even your own, as you inch closer and closer to the priest. What are you doing? No. You must resist it.
I'm sorry you have to witness this, Father. and then Tom will turn the sword on himself and attack himself.
I need you, before you do that, I need you to take a wisdom saving throw.
Cleric casting something on him?
Cleric is, and as you pull the sword out, just reactionarily, the priest suddenly just puts out both hands towards you, and your body goes completely frozen as he casts Hold Person on you. That's a DC 14. You almost fucking killed yourself. Oh god, I don't have long. And he kind of just the priest, I mean, your body's frozen, you still see and everything, and you just watch as he darts into one of the offshoot chambers.
Hey, dude, you're making a save every 6 seconds here.
Yep. Go for it.
Nope.
So he darts out of sight. I mean, he's dashing, and I mean, you lose sight of him entirely as he goes into one of these other rooms. You can hear some sound, something rummaging. Give me another save. Still frozen. As you're frozen, the sword is just screaming in your mind to kill. Kill him. Kill him.
No.
This is happening as you're continuing to try and break out. You see the blur of the priest as he comes running back into view. Give me another save.
This is so lucky. Because you're so unlucky.
Finally, failing wisdom saves is a good thing.
It's a good thing. I need a Constitution save as the priest comes running over. He's got a vial in hand, and as you're standing there frozen, he just kind of pulls back your head and starts pouring this liquid down your throat. Which works. Man, good thing you suck at rolling.
Today, yeah.
Yeah. The weapon is just continuing. No, kill him, and then everything goes black. You topple to the ground. You are unconscious. So.
Well, that took a turn.
A bit. Well, like I said, after about an hour, we head on up to.
That
Anyway.
Tom going out and getting himself into hijinks again.
Always that bloody Tom. We can't leave him alone anywhere. He's always getting.
Always killing halflings in their sleep.
Ninja bugbears, just finding all sorts of trouble.
Oh, man.
I think in this one night alone, Tom has done more harm than Ragnar has. Or not Ragnar, Troken ever actually did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Troken was just a dick. Tom is murdering people.
This is bad.
I mean, Throken
This is wrong.
chose to be a dick.
Yeah, well,
But to be fair, failing the wisdom save with a 0, there was no.
Oh
way
yeah,
that
there's
no,
no
you
coming
can't
out of
do
that.
he was
yeah.
dead.
Okay, so the rest of you kind of talk about whatever it was you're going to talk about the day's.
We just basically
activities.
go over the entire events of the day, anything that we may have missed, so that we have full knowledge. The different people that Emmett interacted with in the High District, Carla,
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
purchased
yeah.
from Carla. We just reconvene and shared notes, basically.
Okay, so you guys do that. Doesn't take too long. It wasn't a terribly busy day, and after that, I presume that you guys
Crash.
crash. Brock's already crashed. Everyone else heads back to their own rooms, and as you guys are coming out of whoever's room you were in, discussing, kind of just in the hall where the doors to all the various rooms are, You hear this sudden just and followed by just some like sounds like someone's just heaving something up the stairs. Like you can hear two distinct grunts and this constant just.
Guess we'll go check it out.
Yeah,
you just go peering around the corner, looking down the stairs. You see this well, one who looks like very clearly Hraf, this big bulbous form, gripping the arm of someone. On the other side, a figure in these kind of off-white, very light gray robes. Gripped on the other side, they seem to be arms around, well, what looks to be Tom's shoulders, heaving him up the stairs. And at the very bottom of the stairs, kind of just following the pair of them, what looks to be a Kala.
What on earth?
You know, when he said he was going for a walk, I assumed that meant it was fine for you guys. I don't know him quite as well as you, but I thought that was okay.
Yeah, it usually is.
Emin, I need to speak to you separately at some point.
Okay.
I walked down to go check out Tom and see if he's alright.
If Rook comes out of his room at this point, they'll wreck it. Not wearing any armor at this point because I'm in bed.
Quick, we need to get him upstairs into bed, somewhere I can look at him.
Alright. With their assistance, I help take him up the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, Roth and the priest are not very capable figures. They're clearly struggling, and you kind of just come over and very simply just grab hold of him, heft him up, and yeah, you manage to please haul him upstairs. Little effort, and kick open the door to whatever room Tom was in, lay him down on the bed. He's completely unconscious at this point.
What happened to him? Where did you find him?
He priest kind of recomposes himself and puts his,
does not have any wounds.
hood
so
back
it's the
on.
priest, Carla, and the barkeep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now everyone just kind of files in. He came to the temple, and there was a look of murder in his eyes, and I did what was necessary.
Asha, you guys said that everything at the temple went fine today, right?
To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. There's been something up with Tom all day, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. And I think it's something that happened at the temple.
Nothing that would warrant hunting down the priest, trying to kill him, right?
Well, maybe the priest himself knows more.
I
Do you have any
don't
more
know.
information for us?
Nervously looking at the priest and like getting my hand ready for my axe. It's like maybe if Plum was willing to attack this priest, something is wrong with them.
The priest just like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
You have a
that,
reason why he might attack you.
Before he can even respond, Akala's kind of like checking on Tom, and she just turns her head towards the priest. How much did you give him? What was necessary? He's going to kill one of us, or both.
Slow down. Start from the beginning. What's happened?
He composes himself again. Your friend here came in the temple earlier today with and he kind of points at Asher. He said there was something about his weapon. Something, I don't know exactly. But he returned just an hour ago or so. He said he had done something to someone. It was hard to understand him.
Something to someone.
Yes, and then he drew his sword, and I did what I could to incapacitate him. But it wasn't going to last long, so I gave him... And he kind of points to the vial in Akala's hand. And here we are.
What did you give him?
A toxin, well, something to just to put him in a state like this. Akala kind of stands up. I wouldn't call it a poison, but he'll be unconscious for a few hours.
Alright.
Is the sword in the room with us?
The priest, well, you look around and it's not, and the priest, kind of seeing what or noting what you're looking for. I have it at the temple. I figured it safer there.
Why the sword?
He seemed drawn to it.
Alright.
Priest, if there's something that you're not telling us, you could be putting our friend at risk.
I'm not. I swear it. I told you what I know.
When will Tom awaken?
It should be no more than a few hours, based on the amount he gave him.
I'm gonna double check Tom, just to see if there's any suspicious items that could have caused this. I don't believe really that it's the sword. We've had like no explanation on that.
Do you have anything else on your person, Tom?
All that you see if you examine Tom, other than the studded leather, is his rapier that has the name Susanna written on it, and a lot of daggers.
A lot of daggers.
A lot of daggers. Other than that, it's just normal.
Nothing uniquely suspicious, right?
You do notice that his thieves' tools are not as shiny as they once were. Few of them have been broken off.
They might know. I don't think I've seen your tools, but couldn't tell if the...
What about like marks on your body? Do you have anything like that? Any like weird bruises, tattoos, brands, anything of that sort?
Typical tattoos that you find on pirates in Kruxenberg. Nothing that stands out. No.
Alright. You say it's the sword. I believe it's the sword. I don't find anything else on him.
He said he was in a rage when he came to visit you, priest.
Not quite a rage, but he's mumbling, talking to himself, almost as if talking to someone else. But there's no one there. It's just me and him. He ignored.
Have you ever seen visions before, to your knowledge?
No. I'm aware.
Priest, tell me more about the conversation you had with him when I was there earlier on today. Because he came out of that conversation and there was something wrong with him.
He came looking for answers regarding the sword. Answers that I could not give, given my experience and knowledge. I simply told him that he would have to find the person who the sword belongs to get those answers. He didn't seem keen on that response.
But what were his questions? Why did he come to see you?
He said the sword compels him to do things. It has some sway over him. It seems a dark artifact.
Right. His will's not his own then. Should keep him separated from it for a while.
You say you have the sword in a safe and secure place?
For the time being, yes. Yes.
Best to keep it that way, and don't tell anybody that you have it or where it is, and that includes our party. Don't tell any of us.
Ola man. Who do you follow?
Who do I follow?
Who's your deity?
Well, you see, I'm a very, very devout follower.
Work, motherfucker. Can't turn pages.
Only.
He clears his throat, kind of just taken aback by the question, as it's somewhat unrelated. That would be Sovros,
Sovros.
god of
Do I have a
divination.
character? Do I know who Sovros is?
Oh yeah, you've heard of him. God of divination and fate.
Divination and fate.
It's Forgotten Realms deity.
Yeah. Have you already
Thank
spoken
you.
in prayer about this?
Sorry, say that again.
Have you already spoken in prayer to your god about this?
No. No. I suppose I didn't think anything of it before he came back. Clearly,
Understandable.
I underestimated this dilemma.
Perhaps that might give us some more answers. But for the time being, I think it's best to keep it the weapon separate. Would you
I
mind
think we should tie him
leaving
up.
it? What was that?
Do you think we should tie him up?
We'll see what it comes to.
I don't think that'll be necessary. If we all stay in the room with him, if he wakes up, if he's got no, make sure he has no weapons on him.
Yeah, I think it's worth disarming
This
him.
morning.
Yeah, take the rest of his weapons on him and shift him into a different room.
Alright.
Let's wait here for him to wake up.
And priest, can you leave it at the temple for a day or two? Perhaps a couple?
You're talking about the sword?
Yeah.
Of course. Yes, I intend to keep it safe.
Alright. We'll see what we can find about it. And any answers that you may have, we'll talk about later.
Okay.
Well, there is one more thing, though. He has killed somebody, you said, right? He has killed a person.
Said he did something to someone.
It was riddles. Something about a halfling and the sword and
A halfling, you say?
I don't think we've run into any halflings.
I'm just going to look towards the unconscious Tom. Oh, Tom, what have you got yourself into? Emin,
Yes, you said you wanted a word, right, Dasha?
yeah, if you could.
Yes, Darius, Ivrook, could you stay with Tom just in case he wakes up?
Fair. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be here.
yes, he'll wake up in a few hours. He's bound to be feeling the lingering effects of this. He'll need plenty of sleep, but he'll be fine.
So go through Asher into one of the other rooms that we've got. Tom isn't in.
So Emin, and it's not that I don't necessarily trust anybody else, but yourself and Tom are the two that I've been around the longest. When I went to the temple with Tom today, as I'm sure you just heard me say, there was something that didn't seem quite right when we were leaving. He was clutching his sword and he looked upset or angry about something, and I passed it off as if it was nothing, which obviously now I know was the wrong thing to do, and obviously something has happened and something has come from it. This mention of a halfling, the only halfling that I've seen today was when I was with Tom, and it was in the general store. So
What happened with the halfling?
their exchange wasn't overly pleasant. I think Tom felt like the halfling ripped him off with the deal that he offered, and rightfully so. But this just makes me worry that that's potentially not where Tom let things lie.
Was it bad enough that you think he'd be willing to hurt the halfling? Was it that serious?
No. That's why all of this surprises me. I didn't think that something like this would come from it. I thought it was going to be dropped, but from what we're hearing, it doesn't sound like it was.
No. I'm torn. Should we go back to the halfling? He was at the shop, correct?
Yeah, he owns the general store, not far from here.
He owns it. He probably lives there then. I don't know. Should we go check on him? Should we see what's happened?
I think we should. We don't know exactly what has happened, but we know that the state Tom is in, it could be potentially something serious.
It could, yes. You're quite right. Oh, I don't know.
Do you think
though.
we...
Or do we wait for Tom to wake up and tell us himself, maybe?
We could do. I don't know if we are heading over to the general store. Also, do we take Darius and Iverick with us?
Well, I don't want to leave Tom by himself, certainly. No, I think we wait. I think we wait for Tom to wake up. Find out a bit more before we go charging off, half-cocked.
Akala said it would only be a few hours, right?
Yes. I think she said at most a few hours.
Well, surely you couldn't have got up to anything too bad that it couldn't wait a couple of hours.
Well, yes, let's hope so.
And with that, head back into the room where Tom is.
I'm kind of got like my back up against the wall, or one of them, just kind of sat down in the corner, just watching Tom, watching over him. I'm assuming that whoever Iverick is still with me, we just like set up taking turns, so one of us will stay up for a while and then flop.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm actually gonna hex Tom as well. Once we get later into the time period, I'm gonna give him disadvantage on dexterity checks.
So he's hexed, cursed, poisoned, unconscious.
Yeah, I'm gonna
probably
I'm gonna
exhausted.
stab him too. Give him the punctured condition.
Should we tie him up so he's restrained?
That makes sense.
I mean, it wouldn't be a game of Orthros if Tom didn't have every condition under the sun.
Right.
I get it. I'm on house arrest. I get it.
Okay, Asher and Evan, what do you guys do?
How late is it? Is it like late night now, or is it still
It's pretty
early-ish?
late. It's late enough that most of the tavern occupants have kind of left. It's not quite midnight yet, but it's nearing.
Yeah, so we probably fine to wait up for Tom when Tom wakes up. It's only going to be a couple of hours or so. I think we all want to be up for when he wakes up. We'll all want to hear what he has to say.
Okay, so you all just sort of stay in the room or in the general vicinity of it, just in close proximity. And you wait. It is boring and tedious, but after a couple of hours, you see a shift in movement on the bed and this long, strenuous groan as Tom wakes up from his unconsciousness. You do have a level of exhaustion as your favorite, as
Again.
you awake from this lingering poison that the priest definitely gave you too much of, as it's still kind of just wearing off.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you when you were saying that, but before we get to Tom waking up, like in that time period, if Emin and Asher were in the room, Ifruk is gonna say, if he has killed someone, I can't get caught up in this. Okay? This was a deal to help us get work.
No, I
I'll be
appreciate.
hanged for this. If they think I'm with him, they will blame me for it.
If it's something that serious, I'll take the burden on myself. I've travelled with Tom, maybe not that long now, but
But you are
my
fine.
loyalties lie with him.
You won't care about you. You're a man. Me. They'll take any opportunity to hurt me.
Let's cross any bridges that come up when they come up. But I appreciate what you're saying, Ifruk.
And as you finish that, you see the shift in movement, the log strenuous groan as Tom awakens.
What do I feel as I wake up?
I mean, there's this throbbing headache. You're still just coming out of this. You just feel a little bit weaker than normal. You try to move, but it's just slow, kind of sluggish. I mean, it is not a good feeling.
Do I feel the sword? Like in my mind, do I feel the presence of whatever the sword was?
You do not, and you don't notice it at first. You're so caught up in this throbbing headache. It actually takes you a minute or two before you realize that there is no voice currently grasping at your mind.
Top of the evening to you.
I've had better evenings.
I'll bet.
I guess we should start off, Tom, with, is there anything that we should be worried about?
Is there anything you want to tell us, Tom?
Staging an
Tom
intervention.
kind of looks down at his side. He then drops his head back and sighs. And it is gone.
Do you perhaps mean the sword?
Yes. Sword.
You were dragged in here unconscious by
Curiously,
a
so am all of my other weapons. Am I under arrest?
No. We just went
Well-
to how you'd react to waking up.
We don't quite know
That's-
what's going on, Tom. Could you clarify what's been happening?
When we were back at the fort, and he kind of sits up on his elbow. Oh, head. Throbbing headache. I don't know what the priest gave me, but when we were back at the fort, and you two won't know anything about this, but when we first brought the princess, discovered the sword. At first, the sword felt strange. I didn't know what it was doing, but there was just there was an odd compulsion to violence, almost a draw. Now, it wasn't erratic. If I would hit something with it. Plus, I started to notice that if I tried to use another weapon, that the sword reacted very, very viciously. Did not like it at all. So while we were in, I can't remember which port city it was, I went and saw a witch doctor. The witch doctor told me that the sword was the sword of Coriel, some adventurer, and wouldn't say much else other than the sword was useful. Well, I figured that it was, and so as I went along, as long as it didn't do any harm, I thought it was fine. It was helpful. You've seen it do its work. But today it did something new. Today it started speaking to me. It told me to kill the blacksmith. course. Nonsense. Then I went to go and see the halfling, Balthazar, to sell my armor, which he did not give me a fair price for. After that, I immediately went to the temple. I sought the help of the priest. Obviously, he must have brought me here.
Yes, he did.
The priest attempted to, I guess, identify the object, and then he said he couldn't do anything about it. The sword was cursed, and that for me to get it off, I would have to go and find the one who did it. I was very angry about this. I've killed before. I'm a pirate, but I don't just kill recklessly. It's not something that I do. So, came back, and then he kind of pauses. You can see that there's a lot of tenseness on his face. And I came back, sat in the tavern for a while, and I decided that I was going to, for lack of better terms, rob the half. Take my money and then some. I went to stake it out. The door to the shop was locked, so I went upstairs to his chambers. I broke in. I was just going to take his gold and find it. Halfling was very crafty, and so I wrote him a note that said that I had been there and not to ever cheat me again. And then I was just going to leave. The sword. I felt strange, overwhelming compulsion. It's the sword, and he tries not to choke up at this. Directed me to kill Balthazar. And I killed him. And I left him in the room.
It directed you.
You killed the hobbit.
Yeah.
Killed it of your own volition.
Killed Bill
The hobbit. The hobbit. The hobbit. You killed the halfling.
Tom's like,
Don't ever tell me you killed the hobbit.
Yeah.
You killed the halfling.
I killed the halfling. He is probably still in his chambers. And after I did it, I ran to the temple to try to get the priest's help. Maybe there was something I could do. And the sword wanted me to kill him too, and I was in the process of killing myself rather than to kill someone else when he stopped. That's all I remember.
You're saying, hold of your will.
Yes.
We
Well, this
have a
is
decision to make.
situation.
Are we leaving the body there for it to be discovered and hoping that it doesn't come out, the truth doesn't come out? Or are we going to go there and somehow dispose of the body, or even the building itself?
You give me some gold, I'll buy a ship passage and I'll leave. I don't want to endanger any of you.
Awesome.
Well, there is your
Alright,
share of the
Penny.
gold, Tom. You are owed that at least. Being more than enough to buy your passage.
Will you
Tom-
take it to a ship, though? I mean, the priest, he knows what you've done, right? Won't he tell somebody?
Yes, and I'll be a fugitive from the authorities here. But it will have nothing to do with you.
But will you even get to a ship? I mean, you have to buy passage on the ship.
I have my ways.
Find you?
I'm a captain and a pirate. I have a ways.
We can avoid this by disposing of the body somehow.
That still doesn't sit too right with me, so I'm not going to say no. I will say, given the right case, facts and information that we can gather,
I will say that I don't feel the sword anymore. Conscious of it, it's gone in my mind.
perhaps we could prove your innocence.
The only one who could prove my innocence in this case would be someone of magical origin, someone as powerful as perhaps the Sorcerer King themselves.
Well, the priest. The priest can force people to speak truth, correct?
I can do that as well. I'd do.
No offense, Darius, but there's no reason for people to trust you. The priest is a well-known, respected figure about the town, I imagine. His word of saying that Tom is speaking the truth would probably go a long way.
But a common priest is probably not going to convince the authorities of overwhelming magic.
But if these sorcerer kings are so powerful, then perhaps the truth
I believe one murder may be slightly below an immortal king's purview.
But he might have some magicians. He might have some other individuals that might have expertise in magic.
Oh yes, definitely.
It sounds to me like you're a wanted man in many locations. Maybe we try and fix this.
Not for something like this. Not for this.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, this wasn't a conscious decision that you made, Tom.
I did break into his house, and I did intend to steal his gold.
But you did not intend to murder him.
No, I didn't.
So I think we avoid you paying that cost if possible.
Well, it's your choice,
if we can somehow either throw people off the scent, or if we can come up with an argument as to, I don't know what the answer is, but
It is your neck on the line, friend. At the end of the
Yes,
day, we'll
quite.
leave the decision to you. I
Just
met you,
for
but-
someone like Tom, who has been here before, would he have any idea of like the position of the law on things like this in this area? Because like we obviously have no idea, we've never been here, but Tom has traveled through these parts. Like, would he know if the law even cares about whether or not you're responsible for the killing? Like, this is a place where magic exists. Like, people probably get charmed and stuff into doing this kind of thing on occasion. Like, has the law ever, in his knowledge, taken that into account?
Ty, you're muted.
Give me a history check, Tom.
At disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
Indeed. Woo!
Exhaustion.
It's not bad. In the brief stints that you've been here, you've never encountered too much. Most of if at all, you've even seen any kind of murder happen in the town. It wasn't to the same degree. You've seen people kind of just accidentally die, tavern brawls and stuff gone wrong, especially because pirates. But
TV show.
Something like this that could be conceivably premeditated. You have no idea, but you can't imagine. It's
That it would go well.
yeah. At the same time, there isn't a huge presence of authority down in this kind of lower area of the city. as you've seen, there's very few guards at all that even patrol down here. So, a bit of both.
I wonder, and I hate to say this, but I wonder if anybody even knew the halfling, or even really cares about him. It seemed to be an unscrupulous sort. I mean, customers will know he's gone, if nothing else, but if he swindled them like he swindled me, they won't know, they won't care much the difference.
It's the priest who makes the difference. He's the unknown factor in this. Is he going to go to the guards, or does he accept that
If
you
the priest
weren't
was going to go to the
responsible?
guards, he would have done it already.
That's reasonable.
And we can seek his counsel in the morning, gather his opinion on it.
I'd rather stay away from wherever it is, the sword. I'm sure he has it, but I'd rather stay away from it just in case. So,
Right.
That seems like a
One
good
of us,
idea.
one of us will go, not everyone.
So, are we leaving the body where it is, or are we going to burn the building down, or try and hide the body? What's the...
I have a feeling no one's going to go in there for several days. So,
I have a feeling that
you-
burning it down will not end up so well.
Did you shut the place behind you, Tom, when you left? Or did you
I,
just...
I did, yes.
Okay.
Do you want to go that route? Say it's Tom. It's your mess. Clean it up.
There's a sewer underneath his shop, so maybe we can just toss the body down there. I hate this. I'm really responsible for this.
Doesn't seem like many guards would go check in the sewers, especially considering the problems they've had and the lack of dealing with it.
Sure. I just hope that he didn't have any family or...
I mean, you killed this man with a sword, but in his bed, there's going to be blood everywhere.
We will have to make sure that it's cleaned up, I suppose.
How many people know about the monster from the sewer that we killed?
I assume most storekeepers had problems and still boarded them up. But
I don't know if they knew about mutant rat.
they just had a
They
lord.
knew, they knew
Yeah,
that things were
because-
down there, though.
Because we could send Milo in there to maul up the body a little bit, make it look like it's some kind of animal attack and something that's come up out of the sewers.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, Asher. We bust up the trapdoor from the sewers, make it seem like something burst through.
How gruesome was the killing? Was it?
That's clean, I just... Sinistro.
This all doesn't sit too right with me.
It doesn't sit too right with me either.
It's not an easy situation.
I'm going to sleep on it. You guys discuss it further. And I walk out and find a bed after returning Tom's daggers and things.
Everick,
Any ideas?
If the priest will stay quiet, then it will be possible to stage an attack in the room. It will be very noisy, though. You'd have to make a real mess. You'd have to break the trapdoor. You'd have to throw some of the goods around.
It would have to be clear that that came up from the bottom and not the top, so we'd have to go back down the sewers. Yes.
But
And
I
since
cannot.
the-
I can't be seen doing
Of course.
this. If we were caught,
Don't
I
worry.
I can't help you with this at all.
No, I understand. Don't worry about it. If we can, the rest of us can just get in there. I think the shop is connected to the place. We can just. He never unlocked it. As far as I know, that I don't know how many regular customers he has. Ugh.
When we walked in, he was surprised that he had any customers, so
That's true.
we might have a little bit more time than we thought.
You also have to think what this will do to our reputation also, because we have cleared out sewers from all rats, and then a day later, Halfling gets killed by a giant monster.
But it could be a new monster. We did warn Harap not to go in the sewers. That monsters periodically reappear. I don't know. I've never had to cover up a murder before. Like I said, I've killed many people in my time. I've never had to cover up a murder.
Well, shall we? We need to decide, I suppose, if we're going to do it. We need to do it now. If not, we speak to the priest in the morning and see if he'd be willing to compel you to speak truth and then speak to the authorities about it. Or you leave town entirely. It's your call, Tom. You're the one who's had this.
I'm open to any and every option that you feel that is appropriate. I should have gotten rid of the sword sooner. Should have gotten rid of it sooner.
It only started speaking to you today, though, right?
Yes, today was the first day I actually had a voice. Before it was just kind of a compulsion. If I were to attack something, like we would be fighting, and then I would attack something, and it would have an overwhelming compulsion, especially if I hit it to finish the job. Never a voice. Never that.
Well, my vote would be wait until the morning and speak to the priest. See how he feels about the matter. But I'm willing to go along.
He is the only one. He's the loose end that, the wild card, rather, that it's going to be up to him. I mean, he knows. I know what you will do, but he knows. I'm not sure what he will. So.
Maybe that's the most straightforward way of fixing this. If we can get the priest on side, maybe there's tasks that he needs help with or something. There might be something that we can use as leverage.
Well, even better, right? I mean, the priest, if he accepts that it was not your fault what you did, then maybe we don't need to cover up the murder at all. Maybe he will just say the guy died, and then he will bury him or burn him.
Are we agreed then?
Yeah, sounds like the priest is the key.
I'm gonna go to bed then.
Yep.
I'm going to wait for Ivaruk and Asher to leave the room, and then I'm going to give Tom his 20 pieces of platinum and just say, if you do feel like you need to leave, that's your share of the gold. Should be plenty.
Tom takes it and says, sorry to have brought this on you.
Well, it's a difficult situation, but if you're telling the truth, it wasn't your fault.
Right.
Good night, Tom.
Good night.
Okay. So as Ivrak and Asher leave the room, and then Emin closing the door behind him, as you sit there, probably still on the bed, just gathering your thoughts, contemplating what's just happened, what you've done this night. You hear in the back of your mind, "And you think it would be so easy to rid of me? Our work has just begun." And that's where we're going to end it. And that is where we will pick it up next time.
No.
What a
Oh, man.
lovely session.
That took a dramatic turn.
Oh.
Murdering a hobbit. Sorry, you murdered the hobbit.
Murdered the hobbit.
You're fucking Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo!
Oh, man.
We both did
Lighthearted,
that.
shopping, buying stuff, talking to people, hobbit murder.
That is not how I thought that was going to go. Wow.
Yeah, that's not at all what I had planned for that session, so bye.
We thought we were just going to be collecting plants next session.
I was like, I'm going to maybe there'll be a monster when they go get the plants. That'll be cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, maybe they'll go to a cave. Yeah, dampened environments. That'll be good. Yeah, cave. Now we have a murder trial.
Oh man, that sword. Oh. Mm.
Things could have got really ugly as well if you killed that priest.
Yeah, if you'd have
To be
passed
honest, I
that
think it would have
wisdom
actually
save.
been way cleaner if you killed the priest. Actually.
Yeah.
No
This
loose
would have been
ends. We'll see what happens.
I mean, you'd have felt like shit, but you'd have been able to sneak out of there, no problem.
Tom was gonna turn the sword on himself. Like the sword was wanting blood, so he was gonna turn the sword on himself.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah,
Whether or not the sword would let you do that, though, that's the thing.
that's a whole other story.
Because a nice squishy priest right there, he's just asking for a statin.
No reason not to kill the priest, then yourself. I mean,
That's
Exactly
true.
right.
That's
Two
also
for the price of one.
yeah. Big fan of the twofers. Love that.
Man, it is lucky that you failed that save though, because even if he was like a level 9 cleric, that is not a hard fight for Tom. Like it was his environment there, 1v1 in close proximity. Priest had no opportunity to really run away. There was not much you could do because you get sneak attack every round. There was
slaughtered.
very little. Also, he was wearing a robe.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
AC 12 at best.
At best, right? I mean, he's maybe like 10 to 12, and you're gonna be doing what, like you're a D6 plus like 5 right now on your weapon, plus 3d6 sneak attack. So that's 19 average damage a turn,
Yeah.
and you basically can't miss.
His whole
It's like
person
that's
was like.
three rounds.
His whole
That's 3
person
rounds,
was
then.
the only thing stopping him from being liquefied.
God, I can't believe you failed that every time. Luck.
I know, right?
Oh,
Well, at least he's consistent. Wisdom saves are not
true.
Tom's fault.
True. It all worked out. But goddamn.
He inherited Ragnar's intelligence checks.
Tom would have like made it out without. He would probably made a lot of noise and got himself caught, but failing like a 0, the halfling was dying.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have a choice really. There. Yeah.
That was so perfect. Oh my god. Can't believe that happened.
Yeah, right, that shit.
And then the 3 6s and a 4 off 4d6 for the damage on the
that
halfling.
was not nice.
So, Emin's weakness is women. Tom's weakness is dark, creepy voices in his head.
There you go.
Apparently.
Alright, we'll see what happens next time on Dragon Ball Z.